Incoming transmission.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the first of what I'm going to call Nerdcast. I'm the Outpost Nerd, and I'm transmitting you live with everyone's favorite mouthy mama of the internet, Shelly, or from Talking Trash and Treats. What's up, Shelly?
What's up? You know everybody calls me T3 or Shelly.
I know you the mama bear to everyone, all
I'm
of
the
us.
mama
So
bear. I'm the mama. Not the mama. I am the mama.
yes,
What's up, nerd? What's up, everybody out there? Hope everybody's enjoying your weekend. Hope you had a nice Saturday. How was your Saturday, nerd?
nice, quiet, a little cloudy, but really cool. Nice breeze today. So I spent
It's
a little
very
while
breezy.
just sitting on the back porch, enjoying the day.
Oh, you're feeling very southern today, aren't you? I'm just sitting on the
Heck
back
yeah,
porch,
mama.
been in the
Heck
yard,
yeah.
just
Yeehaw.
having me some tea. Bless your heart.
actually do have a glass of sweet tea right beside me
I
while we're
know you
talking.
probably do, you fucker. Like,
Oh, it's good. Oh, need some ice.
oh, good.
So
So, what's up, nerd?
getting
What
back
you
into the
drag me
groove
out of
of
my
these.
hospital sleep for?
We're going to be talking about something I think that really Hollywood's forgotten or chosen to ignore. You know, the lore of a franchise or a story is the building blocks of what it's made from. It's the history, the tradition that these writers and creators spend years or sometimes decades building.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen really with new iterations just the lore destroyed of a franchise. We've seen it in Star Wars. We've seen it in Star Trek. We've seen it really in every major franchise that we have. They are wanting to shoehorn into the story, to the backstory, the history, just these social issues that why we don't where we watch we watch these things to escape reality, not to be preached at, reminded of.
Yeah, that's what I don't get about the whole woke bullshit. Like, they're like, oh, you need something to relate to. Nobody tuned into Star Wars because it was relatable. We tuned into Star Wars because it was an escape. That's why
Exactly.
it's called fantasy. Like,
Hmm.
it's, hello, yes, it's sci-fi, but it's sci-fi fantasy. There's a difference. Like,
Yes.
we don't go there for, like practicality and, oh, let's see if this is like my life. No. And yet there are things we can relate to because they're just constant and reality affects everybody. Yeah, everybody's got to face it at some point.
And I mean, I've always said if you want to be represented, create something new. Don't take something old that's already made, it's already really has a firm foundation, and for lack of a better word, bastardize it.
Oh yeah. They grape it all over the place. They do. They grape it and spread the seeds all over and they're just like, "Oh, it's different now. Live with it." I don't want to
Mhm.
live with it. I've been living with like canon lore for 30 years. Like, who are you to come along and just change shit? Like, excuse you.
It's like a perfect example of that is I don't know if it's the current Superman, but a recent Superman. It's no longer Clark Kent; it's Jonathan Kent, and he happens to be gay.
Yeah, no, no. They need
I
to
mean,
stop that bullshit.
instead of fighting crime, he
That aggravates the fuck out of me when they do
instead
that.
of fighting crime, he goes and protests at college at universities.
No, I mean, look, they also like they made him like he married Lois or he didn't marry Lois, but they had a kid together or whatever. Like, first of all, I need more. I have questions. Like you have super everything. You're gonna tell me you don't have super sperm? You only made one baby. You didn't blow a whole lot of her uterus when you came. Like, explain it to me.
There are
Because if you
some.
think about it, when he sneezes,
Yes.
it's superhuman.
Well,
When he does anything, can you imagine? He could probably fart the friggin' people away.
there,
Imagine that.
that Will Smith movie Hancock actually has a scene that kind of discusses this.
Which
He's
one?
with the movie Hancock, starring Will Smith, and
I've never seen that movie.
he's
Believe it or not.
he's a guy.
I'm not a huge fan of his.
Yeah, he's a guy in Los Angeles. He's really a drunk. He's kind of a bum. Lives in a trailer behind the Hollywood sign, but he has
Hmm.
superpowers. He can fly. He has super strength. All sorts of things. So throughout the movie, he slowly learns to be a superhero. But it turns out he's this creature that the legends of the demigods are based off of. Like he's and they come in pairs, and if when they pair up, they lose their powers, become mortal, and just live their lives. But when they're separated, they become they become superpowers. So he's away from his, and he loses his memory like years ago, and when he wakes up from his injury, he gets shot in the head. He loses when he wakes up. He doesn't have his memory, so someone asks him first, says, "Hey, give me your John Hancock." So he thinks John Hancock's my name. But there's a scene in the film where he's with a lady of the night, a hooker, a hooker,
A
and he says,
hookah.
"Yeah," he says, "When I tell you to get off, get off."
The hookah with the hookah.
He says,
Oh, I
"Tell
know
you to
somebody like that.
when I
I know
tell
a
you to
couple people like that.
when I tell you to get off, get off." And when she gets off, and it's like bullets through the metal roof.
Yep.
But
Yep.
there are some iterations of like I saw one version of Superman where um, they go to a planet with a red sun, so he doesn't have powers for a while, so they can have a child, and so they even say like we're gonna go here, so the baby
Could
does
you
Lois.
explain to people? Wait, nerd.
Yeah.
Explain to people why they hear this in the background.
So everyone, Shelly has been in the hospital for what 2 weeks now,
Yeah.
week or two,
About
and
2 weeks.
yeah, so about 2 weeks. So that's why you're gonna hear a little background noise from on here. But good news. What's the good news, Shelly? Tell us the good news.
Good news. I come home tomorrow.
Yes. Everything's good.
Yay.
Everything's
Yeah, everything's good. Everything is the way it's supposed to be. I am healing up. I am no longer near. Um, I'm no longer in danger of being septic. Only
hmm
if I let myself backslide.
I don't think any of us are
So
gonna let that happen.
yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be hounded by people from now on, and that's fine. Making me accountable is something that I've always, I've appreciated over the years. Um, it's usually me who holds myself accountable, but you fuckers are going to do it now.
Oh, we're gonna
Um,
be the little voices in your head just saying,
I
"Do
know
take care of
you're going to be the
yourself, Shelly.
little
Take care of
annoying
yourself."
people. I know, little annoying people. It's fine. It's
Oh,
fine.
you love every one of us.
I do. I love it. I've missed you
What
guys.
up, Rex?
I miss not having you guys like right there.
Yeah.
So, um,
But
I don't know. I apologize for the noise or whatever. It's just these people
don't
have been
bother
here
me.
for me. They saved me, so I'm actually very grateful to every single one of them. I don't think I could have done this. Well, I know I couldn't have done this without them, and they put up with a lot from me, especially in the beginning because I was terrified.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. I bet.
I mean, everything hurt, and I would like. I don't remember who said it, if it was you or if it was Frog or you all said that I sound like I gave up. I was just, and
Yeah,
my
that was
son said it
Frog.
too.
Yeah, you sound
Y'all
you
just thought I
sound
was
more
resigned
upbeat.
to it,
Yeah, you sound
like I just accepted I'm gonna die and that's it. And I
yeah.
kind of did because I was in so much pain for so long. Like it was constant. You get crazy and you just like, just make it stop any way you can. I don't care. And I was desperate for it to stop. So I was like, oh, I'm going to die. Okay. All right. Whatever. Does that mean there's an end date to this pain? Because that'd be
Mm-hmm.
great. But then, I got to the point where I was like, do I really want to die on these people? No, I really don't. And I was like, let me get my ass to the hospital. And that's when everything was like, it became real. Like when they said, no, no, you're gonna die if we don't stop this right now, like aggressively.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, let's do that then. But it still meant a lot of screaming and a lot of wound care because my skin was basically falling off me.
Yeah.
Um, so now I'm good. The skin is nice and healthy. I'm all wrinkly all over the place from like the drainage
Mm-hmm.
from being like so full of the liquid, and now like my calves are almost to their normal size. So it's like, but I did take steps to fix everything. I got a standing desk. I got a recliner so that I don't have problems sleeping because the sleeping is important. And I'm just I'm
That's
I'm on
another
a
thing.
good
You
road.
sound rested now.
I know, right? I sound like me. But the thing is, when
Yes.
my drugs all like kick in, I have 15 minutes of gibberish where my brain cannot cope with the
Mm-hmm.
amount of like bullshit that I just took. So it's true. It's from the GABA mainly, and
Mm-hmm.
it's me just being just word salad. And then at the end, I'm like, I wasn't asleep, but that was the drugs. I'm so sorry. What did I say? Because I can't even like control it. And it's just I think I'm talking normal, and I'm like, what was that word? Wait, bitch, you just said what? You were talking about like an award, and now you're talking about chickens, and like it always comes back to the chickens. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe I was a chicken in another life. Anyway, so that's why I want you guys to realize that there's gonna be my roommate and nurses and like people coming in and out while I'm on here. And I apologize for messing up, his whole stream with like the interruptions. But everybody needs a break anyway. Just consider those your commercials.
Well, I've I'm trying to. I need to get back into the swing of YouTube. I was working for a while, didn't work out, really bummed me out. You ever, Shelly, you
I
know what it's
know,
like
man.
sometimes
Yep.
when you have those just bouts of depression. You're like, I don't want to do a damn thing.
Yep. Had
I
months
guess
like that.
that's the way I was for a few weeks. I really tried. I was working in an insurance office for a few weeks, and really enjoyed it. Just found the work really hard. Wasn't taught what they didn't train me very well. Uh, they basically by week one the owner wanted me to go get my insurance license. I said, "Are you no? One that would be waste your money because I'm not prepared for this." So it didn't work out, and I worked my ass off and just
And you need not to blame yourself. You need a little bit of, I think you need somebody to talk to. I
yeah
think you
yeah.
you need to take care of you, to not
Mm-hmm.
worry about what other people think, and to just concentrate on the things you enjoy and making a living from that. Like you got to fuck the jobs that make you feel miserable. There's got to be something out there that you would enjoy.
Yeah.
Maybe something with less people and more animals, because you do really enjoy working with animals, right? You have a way with them.
Yeah,
You're good with animals. I mean, come on. Are you
I
not?
guess I've never really thought about it. I've had pets before, but I've never like, been one on one with like animals per
But I
se.
mean, you're patient with them. You could do something like that. You could do something with just machinery. Do something like
Mhm.
moving stuff around. God, like I knew people who were only good at playing Tetris. The one guy, that's all he ever did. He was like, I can't get a job. I can't get a job. I told him one day, I said, why don't you work in a warehouse? He was like, well, why would that be a good job? I said, because you know, with the Tetris, holy shit, do you know how like valuable you'd be learning where what fits where and like how to
Mhm.
store shit? Because they have people just throw shit in the middle, and that's the
Yeah.
worst kind of warehouse to be in. And the warehouse managers, they don't get good forklift drivers and like warehouse workers. That would be really good. Do you know he runs his own warehouse now? All right, so that was something he got really really good at. He worked his way straight
Mhm.
up, became manager, and when the guy retired, gave him the business.
Mm. See, the
And it's a
only
good business. So, and he did
I've
that in a
tried
matter of
to
like 5 years.
I've applied for the only warehouse we really have in my area right now since the
No,
storm
but
came through
no, honey,
is a
but I'm saying that was
yeah.
like that was a strength of his. That was a job that catered to what he was good at and what he enjoyed. Like you got
Mhm.
to find something that you're good at, that you enjoy, and find a way to make money at it.
Yeah. See, I've done theater work, which I really, really loved. I mean, I'd get calls from our civic center. Hey, can you come work this day? We need help.
Mm-hmm.
Or we got this show coming in. You want to go? You want to come in? So I get Shelly. It was awesome. I get paid to see free shows. I get paid to go see Broadway shows.
That's great.
I saw Stomp. I saw Cinderella. God, there was a couple other musical acts that came through, and all I would have to do is they'd have us come in the morning. We work with with the stagehands that were paid by the company, and we'd work with them, and we'd set up. We do everything, sit there, watch the show, and then tear everything down. It was great, but since the hurricane, they're still fighting for our fighting. The city wants to tear down our civic center, but the fine arts people in town, um, the Fine Arts Alliance, it's called. They are fighting with the city to keep it up and repair it. But it's just a big hullabaloo. It's big crazy thing that's been going on for years.
Mm-hmm.
But I talking about just talking to somebody. I'm trying to get in with through through a government agency called that helps people find jobs and give them services when they can't afford it. But
Okay.
there's no doctors in our town right now. There's maybe two or three actually, and they're 5 6 months out. Like if I went and called today, it'd be probably 5 or 6 months before I could get an appointment with any of these doctors. And
Mm.
one I really want to see because I saw him back when I was young and had this repertoire with him already. But yeah, that's one thing that we're working on. Me and people who are trying to help me are working on. It's just trying to find somebody.
Well, the longer you put it on, the longer you put it off, the longer it's gonna take to get the appointment and see the doctor. So
Well,
even though
yeah.
you're like, it's gonna take a month, guess what? If you wait a day, it's gonna take a month and a day,
Well, the
and
thing with
another month and a day, and another month and a day.
the thing with Voc Rehab, if they the way they have it, if you apply for it and are approved, you have
Mm-hmm.
3 months from your approval date to go see the doctor. So do you see my little dilemma? They're trying to find a doctor they can get me in soon enough to see before the state's like, oh, you missed your
Well, what
opportunity.
you can do is contact the doctor, get the appointment, and then when you're closer to the appointment date, say, okay, the appointment's in whatever, and they'll send you an updated referral.
Yeah. I've
They
talked to a
can put
couple of
in the
doctors about
referral
that.
send. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because
it's
that's what they do for me when I have the specialists that are like 6 month waiting period.
mhm,
I'm
yeah.
like, oh, okay. By the way, nerd, guess what?
What?
Chat. You have a bunch of people to say hi to.
Yes, yes, see that.
So if you don't do it, I'm gonna be me and step in and do it anyway. So let's go. Come on.
And got hey, Lady Autumn Skies with us,
Mm-hmm.
and of course we got Squab Bob.
Squabba. One-on-one with animals, not in a sexual way. Thank you very much. There's no deviancy and bestiality here. Well, there's deviancy, but
No,
no bestiality.
yeah,
Thank you very
no,
much.
that's a hard no.
No, that's a very flaccid no. It's a very non-existent, asexual no.
Jesus.
Okay, that is a
Oh,
no, 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 no. That is a oh no, 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 no. That's that kind of no, 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 no. That's a divvy no. Mm-mm. Like
Tweety,
no,
U.S.
no, no,
News is
no.
with us too.
Sweetie, nerd, I love you, but you know I'm OCD. Start at the top, dude.
Oh, I've said hi to everyone so
You
far.
said hi to T Rex. You had
Yeah,
hi to Salome.
yep,
I
yep.
didn't even know Cool Frog was here, so that must have been where you stopped.
Oh, that's right. You can't see it, so
Yeah.
yeah. Cool frog. I forgot you can't see the chat. I'm
I
sorry.
can, but I can't read it. It's too small on my phone, and I
Yeah,
don't
I
have my
forgot.
reading glasses here because the gap. I told you the gabapentin makes my vision blurry. So
I
being
did.
on 3 times the gabapentin, I'm super blurry.
I tagged her in it, Tweety. Unless I didn't update it. Huh?
Which is very likely.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Could sworn I went in and
All right.
tagged you.
You argue, and I'm going to say hello to your chat because I'm
Well,
bossy.
let me do that real quick because I could have sworn I tagged you. I know I
Okay.
tagged you, but
So we
I
got
guess
Cool Frog and Squabba. Squabba said, I'm not a swinger. No, I'm not a swinger, but I do love pineapple. One-on-one with animals. Brilliant. Lady Autumn Sky. Hello. Wonderful
oh, I
felicitations to
tagged
you.
you in the description. That's what I did.
You didn't tag me in the title.
Yeah.
Poo poo onto you.
Stupid.
And poopin'. I'm with poopin'. That was not nice, but anyway. I'm not known for being nice or politically correct. And guess what? Fuck you.
Okay.
So my Tweety, maybe Outpost should mention Chili. La 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 la. Do 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 do. Who else is coming? Come on, guys, share the shit out of this because he needs subs. So share this on your Twitter, on your Twitter, on whatever. If you have a teletype machine, Morse
There we,
code, whatever.
there we
Let's get my nerd some subs. Get them up there.
go. Shalomang says, I said Shelly's Tetris house warehouse idea was brilliant.
See? Yeah, it depends on what you're good at.
I didn't boomer
I
the
know,
title.
Spinoa.
I didn't
No,
boomer
go to
the
the next.
title. I'm not Nick Ricato or anyone. I'm not a boomer.
What do you mean you're not Nick Ricada? He wouldn't have forgot to put me in the title.
He's done it before.
If it was me, he would be so like, oh my god, she's on my show. I can't believe she said yes, because I always say no. It's like, all right.
Oh God, hearing a conversation between you two would probably just like short circuit
Listen,
my
I made
brain.
him a promise. And that was a promise I made. He didn't ask for it. That I would never ever ask him to be on my show or ask to be on his,
Yeah.
because I never want to be considered one of those, clout chasing people.
Yeah.
Because I don't do that. I'm actually friends with him because I admire him, and
Mm-hmm.
because he's been there for me whenever I needed it, and I'm loyal like that. I don't care if he's a complete ass to everybody else on the planet. He's got my loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
He just better not turn on one of mine. He knows that though. He knows that I'm like very like, grr, mama bear. Like, don't come for mine, because then I come for you.
Yeah. One of the highlights of anything I'd done on YouTube was the last time he did a call-in show. It was him and Drex. I was the
Mhm.
last person of the night, and I was dating a girl who had seizures, and I know it's a lot of jokes. She was blind,
Mhm.
yeah, but I knew that girl for years, and two people earlier in the show, one person was talking about like, yeah, my girlfriend has seizures, and then another guy was like, yeah, I go to a school for the blind, and my girlfriend who's also blind, and blah blah blah, and I come on, and I was like, and I start talking about things with them. Really fun. Really, they were really fun to talk to. And I said, "Yeah, my
Mhm.
girlfriend who's blind and has seizures." And Drex, the look on Drex's face, his jaw drops. He's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, dude, stop, stop!" And Nick is looking at him like, "Are you trolling us? You're telling me your girlfriend is blind and has seizures after what we just talked about with these other guys?" I
Mhm.
said, "No, I'm not trolling you. I'm serious." It was just I wish they would do kind of more talking calling shows like that. But,
Mhm.
he's probably
Well,
got
it's
two.
hard,
Yeah,
especially now because he's going through so much legally. And when you have a call-in show, like you don't know what that person is going to say, and they could totally nuke your channel in like 3 words.
oh yeah,
Actually, they can nuke it in 1 word, and we all know it. But if you don't know them, you can't just. If you're beefing with somebody, you can't just throw that out there like without
yeah, and
vetting it.
that's yeah. I understand that's why he's probably hadn't done one. This was probably
I would expect him to be suspicious of me, even though I've been talking to him like as a friend for like the longest time. But I'd expect him to be like, "Listen, like I'm going through it.
yeah.
Mind your p's and q's." Like I'd expect to be told that, but he probably never would.
My
But
ex
I would
sweetie,
expect that.
my ex girlfriend, she's blind, and she'd have these seizures, really bad seizures every once in a while. There were a couple of times I like FaceTiming her, and I just see her fall over. I'd call her mom. I said, "Hey, she's seizing up again. You might want to go check on her." But it didn't work out for other
You're
reasons.
so lucky that I love you as much as I do, because the
What?
fact that you dated a blind chick that had seizures, that's like comedy gold for me. There's
Well,
so many jokes that go through my head. Close the door, Rose, so we can see out the window. There you go. There's so many jokes that go through my head every time you say that. I got at least 100 of them, and they're all fucking hilarious. Cruel as shit, mean, really, really raunchy, and like very inappropriate, but hilarious. And I can't say any of them, so you suck. But I love you.
I'd
Don't
known
get
this girl.
listen. I'm here to talk to you and get you to talk to these people,
Yeah,
but don't forget you have a topic, like an actual
yeah.
topic.
Yes, yes. Thank you. I was trying to figure out how to get back to the topic.
All right, so I will redirect you in the most blunt, brick through a window way possible. So there you go. Shut the fuck up about you and go back to talk about Picard.
So
I
over the
love
past,
you.
yes, thank you for keeping me on track. My
Did you
ADD will
hear my
kick in.
roommate add to that?
What'd she
She goes,
say?
"Yep, till the next P." Oh, Rose, you're too much. Sit down. I don't want to see your ass. Sit down. Come on. You got your ass
That
all
should
in
be
my
on a
face.
T-shirt for old
Like,
people. Oh wow, that'd be a
it's
good
not very
T-shirt.
upsetting, but I mean, you're 85. You're out of my league. Let's go.
That'd be a
You've
good.
had your fun, and I can't. I'm not. I don't have that energy right now. What
But
about them? They've all seen. Well, what do you want them to be? 90 and trying to take you to the toilet? Then you feel vulnerable. Who gives? Oh, you're an old battle axe. Oh, I can't with you. Stop. Stop.
is this how you are with your siblings, Shelly?
Yes, you know I am because I'm like this with you. Shut up. Listen, get back into bed. Are you nice? You got the fan? You good? Yeah, the fan hitting all the areas you want cooled down. Hot stuff. Yes, he's like, wait. It's not. Reaching you? All right, Ava will fix it. Don't worry. Because Ava loves you. Right, Ava? Look at that face. Look at the eyes. It's all in the eyes. Look at how much she loves you. I can see it. I feel it, girl. I feel it.
So you were probably a lot less entertained during the first week when you were in there
Yeah,
alone.
the first week I was not as entertaining. This week I got like the whole like because they all hear me in the hallway. Like all the rooms can hear me. My voice, I said it travels. I was not kidding. All right,
Like,
Rose. I'm going back to doing my podcast over here with my friend Nerd. All right. Well, we have like NERD. Yes. Like remember when people used to have CBs in the car and you had a CB handle so that you didn't give out your name. Well, that's what we do on YouTube. So that people don't know. Unfortunately for me, I have to be more authentic. So I tell them my real name. They know where the fuck I live. Hell, I gave away my room number last night in the hospital I'm in. If somebody wants to come visit me, okay, get on YouTube, find out, come visit. They can stab me in my sleep. Literally.
oh, please, you kick anyone's ass who tried to come at you.
Yeah, you know I would. But no, it's good. So we call him Nerd because that's the name he picked. It's not an insult. He picked it. I could call
Yeah.
him Out because his name is Outpost Nerd. But if he's out, that kind of people think he's gay, and enough people think that. So I'm not going to add fuel to that
Thank you
fire.
for that, Shelly. Thank you. You know what, Shelly? You keep me humble. That is why God.
Angry.
That is why God introduced us. That is why God put us together to keep me
Well, I'm very
humble.
good friends with him, Rose. He's a wonderful person. He is. I love him very much. It's my job though, Rose, to give him as much shit as possible while I'm on this earth. Uh-huh. He's gay. Okay. For many years.
I'm not gay.
Well, Nerd isn't gay, at least not for many years, and at least not he's not coming out yet. I give him about 10, 15
You
years.
do remember we're live.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, just asking.
All right. I don't know why you think I would temper my friggin' words because we were live or not live.
I know, just I know.
All right. So wait. So yeah. So no, he's not gay.
Shut up, Shelly.
He says he's not gay.
Oh.
He don't have a girlfriend right now, but I'm working on that. I'm trying to get him laid, Rose. I'm trying to get him laid. No, I'm trying to get him some good pee and like get him a job and get him set up. I'm trying to get him some good dick. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
My nurse is like, I gotta go. I hate you.
Okay, getting back to
No,
the
I'm
show.
trying to get him good punani. It's all right.
Shelly, getting back to the show.
He needs the vajayjay. I'm trying to get him a what? WAP. WAP? Why not? He already FAPs. Fat.
He needs
Which is what? What is a WAP?
a wet ass.
What's it? A wet ass.
This is
pussy.
what
All
my
right. So
ten
if
for.
you thought this was ever going to be monetized, it's not.
No,
I'm
no.
just telling you. If you ever get
No.
monetized, this one will be a demonetized video. But we cool. So yeah. So we're good. All right. So we're going to go back to talking about Star Trek. I'm not entirely sure why, but all right. Let's go back to talk
Because
about
it's
Star
the
Trek.
big thing right now.
No,
We've had
it's the big thing. I thought you wanted to be the big thing. Oh, see, nerd, you got to push yourself.
we've seen 2 seasons that were really a letdown. I'm just going to talk through this.
Just talk over me. It's fine.
We've seen 2 seasons that were really a letdown. I mean, when Star Trek Picard was announced, we were all us Trekkies and sci-fi nerds. We were excited. We were finally getting to see what happened to these characters that we grew up and loved back in the 80s and 90s. See, I was a 90s kid. I grew up watching the reruns and the other Voyager and Deep Space Nine, but Next Generation, that one holds a special like, place for me. It was just it showed you a world
It
that
was a
we
haven for you that you enjoyed.
yeah
Yeah.
it was my escape from like the bullies,
Well,
from, from all the really problems I faced as a kid.
no, I'm good. If I gotta get in the bed, I'll get in by myself.
And
Give me five.
when they
I'm
and
grown. I'm grown and big, girl.
and
Wait one second, nerd. I gotta think of names to my nurse. What? All right, but I'm not gonna get in bed yet. I'm gonna stay here. Thank you. I've been in bed all day. Let me stay up a little while.
okay, word of
Go
warning.
ahead, babe.
Word of warning. We got some storm clouds coming in. It's getting really dark here, so if I lose
We do
power,
too.
that's
It
why.
got real foggy here. Like you can't see the tops of the buildings in my town right now. Like I just looked out the window. I was like, oh shit, we have clouds. Like we are below sea level. Why do we got clouds?
But with Star Trek Picard came out in 2020, I was really looking forward to being a big fan of Patrick Stewart for all his Shakespeare his roles in Shakespeare, X-Men. He really is. He's one of my inspirations. He's got one of my favorite, and he's bald, and he doesn't hide it, and he loves making fun of the fact that he's bald. There's a story that I heard on a interview with him, and
Mm-hmm.
he was it was a rainy day in London. He was walking across one of the town squares, and hears someone. He sees a guy with his raincoat pulled up, hat on, walk past him, and then he hears it says, "Mr. Stewart." Turns around, it's that guy. Lifts up his hat. He said, "On behalf of bald men everywhere," the guy's completely bald, nothing on his head. He said, "Thank you so much." Puts his hat on and walks away. And it's just
Okay.
one of my
And
favorite
he
suits
said
is
that to Patrick
Patrick
Stewart.
Stewart. Yeah.
Well, I mean, not for nothing. Have you ever rubbed? Well, I mean, you probably haven't, but have you ever like touched a bald guy's head?
Yes. I
Like
touch mine
it,
all the
it
time.
feels odd sometimes, depending on like their hair pattern and how closely they shave. But for the most part, like if I run my fingers real light with just a little bit of nail from the like front forehead all the way back and then down the neck, we fucking like it doesn't matter who he is. He literally, I've watched the guy's eyes roll back in his head.
Hmm.
Like it's like when you pet that dog in the sweet spot and they're just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. That's like that,
Yes.
and it's just like
Yes,
okay,
it is.
because they don't have the hair that moves around anymore, so there's no stimulation up there that happens. So when you do touch it, it's like it's like hyper touching, and it's just like oh, I like it. I like the feel of a bald head. I like the feel of hair. It just depends on the person, really. I become attracted to what they are and who they are rather than what they're doing. And the
Mhm.
whole building, like a couple of blocks away, just disappeared. It's that fucking foggy right now.
Yeah, I need
Wow.
to probably put Nightbot on here. Need to figure out how to do all the bot stuff because I
Are
only have
you
like one.
sure? Like all your windows are closed in your car and everything?
Oh yeah, everything's
Okay.
bad now. That's what I was before right before.
Oh,
Um,
that's what you're helping your dad with.
yeah, he was putting a new tarp on his boat on his fishing boat, so and he needed
Okay.
a. We used to just put like a regular tarp over and just kind of with a jump with cables tie it down, but he's got one now that latches on and it's almost like saran wrap that goes over there. We were just trying to figure out how to do that. He likes his toys,
Oh,
and
who doesn't?
mm,
I
but it's
don't know why you thought that was gonna be different. Go ahead.
getting back to the topic on hand. But with Next Generation more so than the other series, we saw the exploration of not just space, but kind of kind of sound corny when I say this, but the human condition. with characters like Data, we saw him exploring emotions and things that as humans we take for granted every day. For this character who he has all these superpowers, all this strength, would give it up in a heartbeat just to be human for a while. Like I
Before you
love
say anything else, your chat said bold women are sexy too. Yes, they are. I am sorry I did not like go there, but like I find women with like either that real short shave or like completely shaved. I find them very sexy. Very
for me
sexy.
personally that depends. Like just
Well, I mean, you gotta have a
yeah.
nice head. If you have like that one of those weird like squarish heads or a cone head, I got an issue. But I don't care about the scars. I love scars. I do. I
Yeah, I
love
have a
scars.
scar going right across the top of my head from an accident as a kid. She is. I have her, and I think Cool Frog is mods. Tweety says you need to be a moderator, Shelly. You still there? Uh-oh. I think we lost her. Okay, is it me? Was it her? Shelly, you there?
Hello.
You there? You went out
Can
on
you
me for
hear
a
me?
minute. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, because my son texted me. So when I get a text on the phone,
Okay.
it turns off my mic. So I got a text from my son that said, "Just to let you know, I'm seriously considering a $10 anime application, animation application." And I was like, "Okay." He's like, "But I won't get it until you say it's okay." So see, that's nice. He's a good boy.
You got good kids.
I do have good kids. I'll keep them
But
for
well,
now.
yeah, I was just talking. We have these characters on here that it was Next Generation was very episodic, so a lot of times we didn't get like we get something happen in one episode that really didn't affect any of the other episodes.
Hmm.
And that's a big difference between Next Generation and Star Trek Picard. They're almost like movies, and I really like that about Picard, especially season 3. Season
Hmm.
3 is just like another Star Trek the Next Generation movie. It
So you're
is.
saying that each episode has like a different like storyline to it. They don't like it's not just one continual. Oh, you'll find out at the cliffhanger at the end of the season.
Well, they would sometimes do a cliffhanger at the end of the season, like
Hmm.
and the first episode of the next season would be the continuation of it. But there
Okay.
was never an over in Next Generation. There was never an overarching storyline. We got that a lot in Deep Space Nine, more so than any of the other '90s Star Trek. But that was it worked. It worked for the formula they were going for, and they changed that with Star Trek Picard because the way we watch TV nowadays has really changed compared to what it was back then. Um, it's almost like compared to now they're making movies instead of TV shows episode at a time. They're making movies and they're just cutting it up into episodes. But we see like in Picard we see the captain. She was good looking in the first Star Trek movie, the V'ger girl. Yes, I can't remember her name, but
You can't remember
another
whose name.
there's in the first Star Trek movie they have a girl who's an alien who's bald and she's gorgeous because her race they produce so many pheromones that in order to to join Starfleet, they have to take a vow of chastity.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, and she gets
How long
captured
is the vow of chastity? When does that kick in?
from
Can
when
I
you
join?
start.
Because obviously I've been on that train.
Yeah, no more sex for you if you join Starfleet. But
Listen, okay, let's not fuck around. Okay,
excuse me.
and the fact that I haven't had sex in 4 years is not fucking fun,
But
except to you, asshole.
what we really see, like,
Hmm.
I'm moving on. I'm moving on.
Shut up. You ever think maybe that's why I have lymphatic like backlog or whatever blockage? Maybe I needed like a draining and somebody wasn't doing the job. Because how come all the years I've been freaking like meat slamming, nothing ever happened? I didn't have
Yeah,
any swelling except when I got pregnant. That was about it, and that was baby swelling.
yeah, Tweety. In Star Trek, there are a race called Deltans that they produce so many hormones they have to take a vow of chastity to join Starfleet and work with other species. And but
Yeah, but that still makes other people horny, doesn't it?
yes, and they can't follow through,
Isn't
and
that a fucking problem? Like
it can
now
be
if they're not screwing them, they're just playing Cupid with people.
pretty much.
Oh, they can't come around me. Could you imagine somebody up in my friggin' um, my sexual like libido? Oh no! Oh my god! Everything phallic shaped, I'd be humping away. Look at that new thing in Dubai that they're gonna build,
Yeah, that gold and crystal. That's what I thought when I
bro. I
first saw the
wouldn't have known
picture of
about
it.
it except Nick tweeted that this was his favorite internet of the year.
Yeah, I saw that too.
He was like, "It's a big golden penis. It's a big golden peanut. Penis. I can't say it. Oh my god, penis. There we go. It's a big gold dick. Like, all
But
right. First of all, I admire anybody who has that much gold.
with I'm trying to stay on topic, and you're making it so
I know.
difficult.
I know. It's so fun. I haven't had
But
this much fun all week.
in in Picard, we see we see we see a pretty much a bitter old man version of Captain Picard, and it
Yeah.
really sucked. We saw
Mm-hmm.
this is the man who saved the Earth, the galaxy multiple times, and to hear him being told to shut up, to go away, they're like, what
You don't
the?
talk to Picard like that. What's wrong with
That's
you?
what I thought.
And
And
but see, very, very, that's very on topic as of late because that's how the older generations are being treated. They're being
oh,
treated like they don't have a brain in their head. Just shut up, go away. You don't understand. You're too old. You're a
exactly.
boomer. You're this.
That,
You're that.
that's an overarching theme of all three
You
seasons.
minimize greatness and you lose out.
Yeah, that's an overarching theme of all three seasons. Like in
Hmm.
season three, we we arrive on a starship and the captain he's just completely disrespectful to Picard and Commander Captain Riker. He he tells him, hey, be he invites him to dinner, and by the time they get there on time, he's already eating. He
Oh,
he
well.
he calls them cowboys. He calls them old. He calls them hacks. It's like, bitch. But then, and the thing is, as the season went on, you start realizing why he's like this towards Picard.
Because he's jealous, intimidated.
No,
Why?
because in Star Trek: The Next Generation, Picard is abducted by an alien race called the Borg, who
Hmm.
they turn him into this drone. Who they use his knowledge to attack the Federation
Okay.
and killing thousands of
How's
people.
that his fault?
Well, because there's some people that when they see Picard, they see the drone. They
Hmm.
see, he was called.
Trigger.
So he even says it. He says, "I was there at Wolf 359," which is where the battle took place. Um, I was there. I saw my ship. I was only 6 survivors from my ship, and you see why he's kind of cold towards them, and you're kind of like, oh,
Bam.
you
Like we
kind of
get it.
because it was his first time in space when he got caught when he was in that battle,
It's
and then
understandable, but it's still not acceptable.
yeah, yeah, and in like we saw that in Deep Space Nine because the main character, Commander Cisco, was a survivor of that battle as well, who lost his wife in the fight
Hmm.
in the battle. And there's a scene in the first episode where he goes and meets with Picard, and Picard's very jovial, very welcoming. He's like, "Oh, sit down, have some tea. Well, let's talk." And you could see the hatred in Cisco's face looking at him. And he's like, "Oh, it's so nice to finally meet you. We've never met before." And Cisco's like, "Oh, we met, sir, in battle at Wolf 359." And you see just the look of dejection come over Picard, and because he was still mourning his wife because it had only been at this point a few years since that battle. He was mourning his wife still, have turn around and being a single father,
Uh-huh.
and you could feel the tension between them when he mentioned that those few numbers.
Hmm.
And there are still people who feel this way towards Picard, that he personally killed, not realizing that he was taking control over. Because in Next
I don't think it
Generation,
would matter.
no, it doesn't matter to
That
these
depth
people.
of grief and anger,
Yeah,
there's nothing that would satiate them except him on a pipe.
yeah, and we see that a lot in these characters. But even though, like, there's one episode of the Next Generation where he actually goes home. It's right after this battle. He goes back home to France,
Uh-huh.
and because he's trying to heal. He's healed physically, but not emotionally. This was a man of extreme principles. Very, honor was everything to him, and these aliens tore all that away, tore his individuality away, and used him as a weapon to
They
destroy the.
graped him. They graped
Yes,
his mind.
yes, they did.
Yeah, they graped his will. Yeah,
Um,
no, holy shit.
I mean,
In about
they
15 minutes, nerd, I'm gonna have fog rolling up against my window so I can't see nothing. And I'm on the 7th floor. This is spooky. Keep going.
I'm
And I
trying to look.
apologize for eating on
You're
stream,
fine.
but I'm
That don't
starving.
bother me.
I'm finishing my salads.
Trying to find the episode that I'm talking about. Um, I think it's family. Yes, it's he wants to go home because he wants to feel that it's his first time home in 20 years. Since he left for Starfleet, he wants to go home because his brother's there. He wants deep down for his brother to protect him like he used to.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where him and his brother, they don't get along. They finally get in a huge fight. It boils over, and his brother
And the
asks,
truth comes out. Go ahead.
yeah, his brother finally asks, "Why did you come here?" And he's like, "I just wanted to come home." He's like, "No, that's not the reason." He's like, "You don't know what they did to me, Robert. They took everything I was, everything I stood for, and used me to kill."
Hmm.
Because this is just days after this battle, and this is a man who loves Starfleet, loves the Federation, will stand up and die for it, but he wasn't allowed to
Absolutely.
do that. And in Picard season 3, we see story elements come into play from that experience. That it's perfectly done. I mean, it was
You've never had anybody weaponize you? I'm
yes,
sure
yeah,
you have.
yes,
But
but
it's the
no, not
worst feeling
yeah.
when they use you to hurt somebody else.
Mm.
and it doesn't fall on them. The whole weight of that action falls on you, and it was something beyond your control, something beyond your intention, something you would never do. But this person has come along and made you into this, you know,
Monster.
this thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
this thing that has to be, thwarted and avoided, and now you have to be demonized. Nobody can talk to you, and it just becomes like, oh my god, like it's so overwhelming. Like, what? But I didn't do anything. It wasn't me. And they're like, no, you were the bullet. They don't blame the one who pulled the trigger. They blame the bullet.
Tweety says you need a Richard stat.
Tweety
Get my
said that.
I'm using the long form. What is
Why are you
what's the?
saying Richard? She said I need Dick stat.
I wasn't gonna say it
It's
because
your channel.
Richard.
I mean, if you don't want me to say it, you shouldn't have invited me
That's fine. I shouldn't
on.
be. But we see
They're
story
not going to
elements.
monetize this anyway. You don't have enough subs, so relax.
No, I don't. Not
You
yet.
can say
Hopefully
whatever
soon.
you want.
Hopefully one. I'm starting to. I put a check out
Stay
my
away from the bad words.
check out my everyone. I put out a short today. I'm trying to figure out how to do more subs.
You put out a short every day.
Yes, I need to. I got some.
No, I meant you.
Yeah, I said I need to. I'm saying yeah, you're right.
You are the short, stupid.
I will kick you in your ankles.
You can kick me in my ankles. There's bone there now. It's not all bad. Kick me in my ankle. Because guess what, bitch? I can run after you. They put those lidocaine patches on my back. I was up and down the hallway.
That was another short joke because that's probably as high as I can reach.
Probably.
But
Ankle bite.
that's the thing. Like compared to the first two seasons of Picard, they really ignored that fact that this had happened to him. In season,
he's got to have post-traumatic stress.
Oh, he does.
And he's got to have, like many violation issues going on in his head.
In
control.
Yeah.
All that.
In Star Trek Star Trek Generations, which was the first Next Generation movie, we really see that. We see that he's like the movie opens with him still on the alien ship. He's dreaming. He's still having those PTSD flashbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole movie story is kind of him facing his story arc in it is facing his demons. Like there's one part in the scene where the aliens, they're taking over the ship, and everyone, like his entire bridge crew is like, Captain, we need to blow up the ship. We need to save they're back in time. Then we need to save the timeline. We need to blow up the ship.
Sorry,
and he keeps saying no. He says, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to keep fighting. And he's risking everything so they don't take his ship because he even says this. He's like, they advance, we fall back. We lose something, they take something. I'm not blowing up the damn ship. And Patrick Stewart, this just shows his acting, the anger, the rage on his face. He screams, no, I'm not doing it. And then he finally comes to terms after, he realizes I'm putting my personal feelings before the mission. And he does his duty. He does what the aliens didn't allow him to do, his duty. What he should have for his people. Like there's one scene. Duty. I know. I chuckled myself.
I didn't want to say it, but then you said it twice, and I had to.
There's one scene in the movie where he and a woman are being chased by the aliens, the Borg. They're called Borg, and they go on the holodeck, and he kills one of them on the holodeck, and he's just enraged. He takes a Tommy gun and just blasts him and kills them. And he goes up and he's like, you see the rage and anger in his face because he's about to start beating the dead alien. And the lady stops him and is like, hey, you got him. But
Like, I think you did the job. Relax.
yeah, and because we're still seeing that trauma, and that in the movie we're seeing that trauma come to the surface,
Hmm.
and it's it was a fascinating thing to think like, okay, how could how could he be allowed to be back in his position after all that?
Okay.
Such a traumatic experience, and he's still allowed to be captain of the flagship of the Federation.
No. All right.
No, no, that was not Generations I was talking about. That was First Contact. I should lose my nerd card for that. I got the two movies confused. That was the second Star Trek movie from
See,
Next
you can
Generation.
talk anything you want about these. I've never seen them.
Yeah,
I know the general kind
hmm
of
it's fine.
story,
I
but
love tell
Star
I love,
Trek is not really my wheelhouse.
I love telling people about this kind of
I
stuff.
know. That's why I'm sitting here listening.
But like I said, in season 1 and 2 of Picard, we really didn't see anything from that.
Hmm.
He was just a bitter old man playing for like I'm gonna make you laugh because I'm about to say something dirty, Shelly. Playing with his grapes, just sat there making wine.
Yep.
But in
Thumb up his
season,
ass. There you go. Now
yeah,
I made it even more dirty.
in season
You're
3,
welcome.
we get what we Star Trek fans have been wanting since for almost 4 years now. A real Star Trek Next Generation storyline. It the feeling of the ships are more in line with Next Generation. It's like at the end of the ending theme is the Star Trek Next Generation theme song, the movie theme, and it's just beautifully done. And we really comparing the 3 seasons, um, we really saw.
Don't pay attention to Squad Bob. He's fucking with you. Go ahead.
No, I'm trying to share the screen. See, this is
Okay.
I always look at the reviews of this to kind of feel,
What is this, Rotten Tomatoes?
yeah. I go to them because
You know I can't see shit on this screen.
yeah, I'm telling
Mm,
on I'm looking
nerd.
here we have Star Trek Picard season 1, and of course don't listen to what these reviewers say. These people who work at these newspapers or these Hollywood magazines or these
It's all
websites.
bullshit.
Well, they give
It's who signs their paycheck,
yeah they're
whether
going
it's good or bad.
if they want to keep in the good graces of the studio so they can get the invites to the parties, get the exclusive interviews with the actors. Well,
Get
like
that famous dick.
yeah, for like here for season 1, 86% from the reviewers. But you look at the audience score, the people, the normal people like us, and that's the first and only time I'm ever going to call us normal, Shelly.
I know. And on that thought, hold that thought. Put a pin in
Yeah.
it. 1 second. Rose, you want me to put your bed down a little? You want to lay back a little? You fell asleep. I could do it if you want. No, I could do it. You sure? You want to lay? What do you want? Up more? All right, let's go. Oh, they should have never put me near your bed controls, Rose. I'm going to make you vibrate in a minute. Yeah, right? Listen, your head was going forward. I was worried you were going to stop breathing. So just keep your head back, okay? All right. Well, put your head back a little bit. You want your feet up a little bit? Or you want to leave them? You want to leave them? All right. So if you're going to sleep, put your head back. All right? Good girl. I'm going back to my show. Sorry, nerd. Go ahead.
You're
So
fine.
we're normal. Yay. Go ahead.
But the audience score is where you really need to pay attention to. The one where you really need to pay attention. And for season 1 of Picard, it's 52%.
Mhm.
And that's for a Star Trek series, that's horrible.
I was gonna say, isn't that terrible?
Yeah, it's
So wait, what you're saying is if I looked at this and went by the audience vote, I wouldn't watch it.
you'd be less inclined to watch it. Yeah,
Less than 52%. My time is limited. 52% is not going to get me to view you
yeah.
unless there's somebody hot in it that I want to see.
I mean, look at the show, that Scooby Doo show without Scooby Doo. Velma had
No,
like
I wouldn't watch that.
no, it was like in the single digit. The audience score for that show is in the single digits.
I have not watched one of the goddamn things that Disney, Marvel, DC, or Warner Brothers has come out with in probably 6 months, at least,
Mm-hmm.
because it's been nothing but bullshit.
Yeah,
Literal crap.
it has. It's
That She-Hulk thing gives me hives. Hearing about Velma makes me want to throw up. I literally want to shit down the neck of everybody at Warner Brothers.
I
And
mean,
Disney can suck my dick.
and there are rumors, Shelly, Velma's getting a season 2.
I don't get it. Who is watching this crap? And who's paying for it? I'm telling you, my theory about them needing to be bailed out by the government and the government saying that the only way we're bailing you out is if you switch to our kind of currency, that's
Mm-hmm.
becoming more and more and more realistic to me.
Yep. Oh, I think
Because I came up with that a long time ago. I said, these motherfuckers, Disney is not stupid. The fact that they're making these stupid moves is so antithetical compared to what they normally do. It's the complete opposite
Did you
of
ever
their
hear about
normal
that?
business plan. Same
That
thing for
Disney.
Warner Brothers.
Yeah. Did
Come
you ever
on,
hear about that Pixar movie called Red?
a Pixar movie called Red?
Yeah, it was a Disney Pixar movie called Red.
No.
It's about basically a girl getting her monthly visitor for the first time.
Stop. I don't want to talk about. Nope.
Yep,
That does
that's
not
all it
belong in
was.
the movies. That is a private fucking thing
Yeah.
between a mother or a grandmother and the child going through it.
She basically turns into a giant red panda.
I saw the beginning of the first episode of season 1 and couldn't watch anymore. And I'm a Star Trek fan. Yeah,
But
well, a
Squad
lot of
Bob,
people feel that way.
Squad Bob, the best thing about season 3 is you don't have to watch the first 2 seasons. It is completely standalone. Well, not completely standalone, but it's so good you don't have to watch it. The storyline is not connected really to the other seasons at all. It is like I said, watching another Next Generation movie. So I would highly recommend going to watch season 3 because there's some moments that I'm like, oh my god, my nerd in me is just squealing like a little girl.
Yeah.
Squealing,
Like I
I
did
say.
for Doctor Who when they said, that Shakespeare was gay. And I was like, yeah! Like I knew it. And he was like, wait, I just heard 1,000 academics fist pump the air. Like, it's like, yep.
See, I
So
love
it's very
that's
good.
that's another show I love. When you have characters done right, it doesn't matter what their sexual orientation is done. Like Captain Jack. Oh, we lost Shelley, so I'll keep talking. It's like Captain Jack in Doctor Who is one of my absolute all-time favorite characters because he'll love anybody. But here I got like season 2. You can see it got steadily worse from season 1 and 2. Oh, she's back.
I know. I hit the wrong button. That's the thing. On the phone, if I hit the back button to go to the screen before, it completely logs me out. I have to find the little teeny tiny X. All right,
Would
hold
you?
on one second. Hold on
Yeah.
1 second. Woman, thank you for everything. I appreciate you. You were an amazing person. You pushed me when I really needed it. I love you very much. Thank you. And good luck to you.
Head popped right up.
Good luck to you, babe. And
What's your YouTube again?
you know what it is. Here, give me a pen.
Just TR3?
No, not T3. They all just want to be like T3, right? I need paper. Where's paper? Give me the tissue box,
Don't be fresh.
please. So we got.
All you gotta do is tell me and I'll tap it in right now.
Go to YouTube.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah, this is the one where you're gonna find me all the time, and I'm
What is it?
talking trash,
That's what it is?
and truths.
That's what it is?
Yeah, you'll find me there, or just go to Cool Frogs right there.
Cool frog. This gotta wait till I'm
Your pen. No, just go to Cool Frogs and you'll see Waking Up with Cool Frog on T3.
And what's your cell number, please?
201.
Wait, the whole phone, everybody's gonna hear you.
I know, they all know my phone number anyway.
Really?
I hate to say it, most of them do.
generous.
If they paid attention to Malloy,
Right on the other side.
if they paid attention to Malloy, they know my phone number. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. There's your
Thank
pen.
you.
And when I say, new phone, who this? Just say Ava.
Okay, fine. Goodbye. Thank you.
Good luck. Thank you. And thank you for everything, my angel. All right, babe. Go ahead.
You got a nurse leaving for the night?
Yeah. And they all came by one today to say goodbye. I sent them flowers.
No, what I was saying, Doctor Who's like, it didn't matter that a character was gay in Doctor Who because it was written well. Their characters were really fleshed out. They weren't just their sexual orientation. Like one of my favorite characters in that franchise is Captain Jack. He's funny, and he'd screw anything like
Jack
Alien.
Harkness, dude. Like that's the male version of me.
He
Work
was
with it
such
all.
such a badass character given, and that fucking twist at the end of season 3 of his
Oh, with the
that blew my
Yep.
mind. But
I enjoyed Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. She took him and Spike, and they got. I was like, ooh, I want to be between them. Like, come on, boys, let's go.
but it's like when a series is so bad that bringing back Captain Jack won't save it, you know you fucked up.
Yep.
But
So did.
getting back to Picard, on season 2, it went down even lower. The audience score went down even lower to 29%. They just I don't know why they just it was just bad. I mean, they brought back characters that were really am I freezing? Okay, I'm not freezing. Yeah, Nurse Ava's gonna really like Cool Frog.
Well, no, she knows what Cool Frog looks like. I showed her a picture of Cool Frog. I showed her a picture of Div, and she's seen like everybody's avatars, but like she's seen a couple of people like actually on screen.
Mm-hmm.
But she was like she caught the tail end of him. She said, "Who that?" I said, "That's my frog." And she was like, "Your frog?" I said, "Yeah." Good. And she was like, "What?" I was like, "He's my frog." Good. And she was like, "Whatever." So I was like, "Here's a picture." And she said, "You talk to him?" I said, "Yeah, why?" She said, "Like a person?" I said, "Yeah, like a person. Why?" She said, "He doesn't look like somebody you'd be friends with." I said, "Listen, I could be friends with anybody." I said, "It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter what your orientation is or your political leanings or your religion. I give no fucks." She was like, "And you're friends with him?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "For real?" I said, "Why does everybody have such a hard time with this?" Yes. Frog and I are friends. He's a wonderful person. We get along. We're born like around the same time, a couple years apart. And we tend to, have a little bit of parallel going in our lives. So we get each other. I was like, I want to put a knife through his forehead some days, but it's all in love. She was like,
Mm-hmm.
I would think he was going to kill you. I was like, no. The fact that somebody thinks Frog is more dangerous to me than I am to him.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
don't think
nice
so.
story. They should make a movie like that. Definite fantasy.
But you just hear in season 2, we kind of start seeing like, okay, they're going to get into lore, but the way they do it, they bring back some characters. They bring back an alien named Q, who's an omnipotent being who can do anything with just a snap of his fingers. Really established character, but they decide, oh, we're gonna kill this godlike being in season 2.
Mm-hmm.
They bring back Guinan, who was Whoopi Goldberg's character, without bringing back Whoopi Goldberg. Well, they brought her back for a
I'd
few
like to
episodes.
do that for every movie she's ever been in.
Yeah, there's so many interviews with the cast that she's like, oh, we're gonna have Whoopi Goldberg with him. Like, damn it, I can't watch it now.
Oh
That
my God.
woman, that woman, just.
I don't like her anymore.
I mean, I loved like Sister Act.
I
Those
thought she
two.
was hilarious before.
I mean, like her, Billy Crystal, and Robin Williams. What was it?
Comic Relief. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
they were so freaking hilarious together.
I have those on tape from way
Oh,
back because oh my God, I loved them so much.
but they were, and it was just a showcase of like the '80s and '90s best comedians.
They were our version of Dean Martin roasts.
Mm, yeah, I love going back and watching those roasts.
Oh my God, they're hilarious.
Anything with like Don Rickle in it.
Don Rickles, that is my spirit animal.
I love when he's in comic relief and he's talking with the trio
Mm-hmm.
and they're shooting back
Their
and forth. And
brains on his asses.
he goes up to Robin Williams and I can't believe you're Peter Pan, and just slaps the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm. And Robin Williams is so happy. He's like, oh my
Yeah,
God,
he goes off. He's like, I can't believe that finally happened. Going
Billy
to
Crystal's
be
like, can I feel your cheek?
to be roasted by Don Rickles was an honor.
Hell yeah. And do you see like him and Johnny Depp were really close, and like he went to
Really?
like Johnny Depp kissed him on the lips one day at like an awards thing. And he goes, "Geez, John." Johnny's like, "Oh, just a little herpes." He goes, "Oh, geez," just to fuck with him.
He was Mr. Potato Head in the Toy Story movies.
Yep.
But
Excuse me, but I won that at trivia night with Div.
oh,
They were like, "Who played Mr. John Rickles?" That was
but I think he passed right before they started recording for the third or fourth movie. So what they did is they used
right before COVID, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
He missed that whole thing because he would have roasted the shit out of all the presidents. Good God.
They used archival footage of voice audio to actually put him in the movie.
Aww.
And they said they did the same thing with who's Ernest? What was his name? Warhol.
Andy Warhol? No.
No.
Because Andy Warhol was weird, but he wasn't funny.
What was his name? He did Ernest Jim Barney. Jim Barney. That's.
I don't know.
He like the Ernest.
You were going to say Andy Dick, but he's not dead yet.
Andy Dick is a whole nother stream of crazy.
He's a piss stream, is what he is.
Yeah, Squaw Bob has a point.
Piss stream.
Squaw Bob has.
Hollywood and
the woke agenda has just gone way too far. I won't watch any of it now. I'll still listen to like Elton John, Manilow, watch Jodie Foster, Rock Hudson, but not supporting Disney.
See, I don't want to support Disney, but I also want to see the goddamn Mandalorian. And it's like I'm not gonna see it till I go home. Everybody keeps talking about the shit, and I'm like, shut up, shut up. But now I really want to see those renovations. Did you see
Yeah, I
that?
saw that just yesterday for the
I
first
didn't
time
know
on
that
Disney
he's
Plus.
been doing that for like the longest time. He buys old buses that they like abandon or they're gonna like scrap, and he renovates them for all different people and all different uses, like
Oh,
for
I think I have
schools
something
and
to
stuff
watch
like that,
tonight.
in all different countries, not just ours.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's like, holy shit, he actually does something with his downtime. Maybe he's not the piece of shit that everybody swore he was. And it took him getting run over by one of those fucking snowcats.
Yeah,
Did you see the shape of him?
yeah, he looked rough.
He was rough. He looks fantastic now. But I
Yeah.
mean, his motivation was not his career, his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
He loves his daughter. Wait, wait, wait. Same letter is sex.
But I, I mean, Squab Up, you can watch things. You can watch
C,
things out.
sand, and sun. No, because the N. C, C, sand and. Ooh,
What are you talking about?
they're playing Wheel of Fortune, but it's C, it's the same
Shelly,
letter. C, sand, and something else. C,
squirrel,
God,
Shelly, squirrel.
I know squirrel, but sea, sand, and sky.
What's
There
the
you go.
clue?
Same letter, which is stupid because it's all the same first letter.
Yeah,
Which once you get it, you're like, okay, all the same letter. How is that a clue? What?
yeah, that's not very good too.
That's
That's
not a
not a very
really
good
good
clue.
clue. So, all
But
right, go ahead. I'm sorry, squirrel.
see now we're getting into season 3. We have the kind of little bit more
Pay attention.
of
I
the
gotta pay attention. Go ahead.
yeah we get a little more of the fan service in season 2, but with season 3, it jumps from a nearly 20% audience rating to a 90% audience rating for season 3. I mean, and I love the little critics consensus on here. It says finally getting back the band back together. Picard's final season boldly goes where the previous generation had gone before, and it's all the better for it. I mean, we have
That means he's gonna kick ass and take names, no?
exactly. We have the whole crew together. We have Riker. We have Worf. We even have Data, the android who was killed in the last Next
Okay,
Generation
he's an
movie.
android. Can you really kill him?
Yes and no.
I
They
mean, there's
discuss
gonna
it.
be bits left over that they could rebuild around.
Yeah, that's how. That's they think. Like in the first season of Picard, he reunites with Data's consciousness,
Go
and
ahead.
his
I'm gonna finish
consciousness.
eating my salad so I stop
You're
interrupting you. Go
fine.
ahead.
You're fine. He and the conscience says, I want to die now. So he unplugs it and he dies. And they find this new rebuilt version of Data. And Picard even says, last time I spoke to you, you said you wanted to die. I hope I'm not um, going against that wish. And Data responds, he's like, that version of me is resting in peace, but this version is exactly where they need to be, where he needs to be. And this,
That's very Game of Thrones.
yes,
That's very much with what's his face?
and Brent
With
Spiner,
what's his face? What's his name?
Jon Snow.
Besides, no, but he said it to Jon Snow, but he also said it to Theon. And
Oh, it's
Theon
been
was
so
like,
long.
I shouldn't have left. I shouldn't have this. And he said, you're exactly where you need to be. Just stay where you're at. And during the final
It's been so
thing
long
against
since.
the White Walkers, remember?
Yeah, it's been so long since I've seen that. I can't
Because
remember.
Theon apologized to Bran and said, I should have been there. I should have helped you. I should have taken you, and protected you or whatever. He said, I shouldn't have left Winterfell. I shouldn't have gone to the Iron Island. I shouldn't have sided with Ramsay, like stuff like that. And he said, you do what you need to do. You're exactly where you need to be.
Was that? Are you sure that wasn't him saying like to Jon Snow when he reunites
He
with?
said that to him, and then Theon, literally within 20 seconds, died. And then he said it to Jon Snow when Jon was like, I should have
Okay.
blah, blah, blah. And he was like,
Okay,
you're
so
exactly where you need to be.
he said the same thing, but we're thinking of two different instances. Okay.
But yeah, he reused it. But
Yeah.
listen, Bran was a lot of things. Original was not one of them.
Holy shit! That lightning I just saw a lightning strike go across the sky instead of coming down.
I
Wow.
would love that.
Sorry, squirrel. But
Holy shit, somebody just landed on $1 million. Go ahead.
but in season two, what? Oh, shit! In season 3 of Picard, we're really seeing the ramifications. In Deep Space Nine, they had an intergalactic war called the Dominion War against this alien empire called the Dominion.
Mm-hmm.
That was they were it was there was a race of changelings, what were called changelings that could change shape and form.
Mm-hmm.
Real original name. That ruled this this empire, and they almost destroyed the Federation. They came close, but the Federation did really something really kind of it violated if it was it violated a lot of war crimes to win this war. They created a virus that specifically attacks the founders, the changelings. And so they end up winning the war. But in Picard, we're seeing a group of rogue changelings that have been that were radicalized because of what the Federation did, who are seeking to destroy it. And they infiltrated every like facet of Starfleet. I mean, from like cadets all the way up to like chief of staff, the highest ranking. They are everywhere, and Picard and the crew are on the run from them.
Legion.
Pretty much. Well, it's funny you say that because these the changelings. It turns out, and spoiler alert, people, spoiler alert, are working with the Borg, the race that took over, the aliens that took over Picard, like I was talking about earlier. They're working together to destroy the Federation, and we see like how like insidious they are. But the thing about season 3, it is not just fan service, Shelly. It's fan service with good story, great art, great actors. It is fan service done right. And a perfect example of that, there's a scene where they go to the Fleet Museum, where and at the Fleet Museum they have every famous starship there. And there's actually one, and I thought of you, called the USS New Jersey, because the showrunner is from New Jersey and wanted to like give a little.
Good things are. Agree or die.
Or agree, or you'll take me out to the what was the Pine Waste.
Make a phone call. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna put myself out. Get out of
here. They'll give me cement shoes.
My
is that it?
I'm still in Jersey.
But and there's an awesome moment where they show like almost every past ship. They have like Kirk's Enterprise in this museum. They have all these. They have Voyager from Star Trek Voyager series. They have all these great ships, and it's just like. But it also fit into the story that they needed. It fit into the plot that while they were here. They weren't there just to serve the fans. They were there for a specific reason. And all these characters that we grew up and loved in Next Generation, you see them evolved. You've seen how they have evolved over the plus years.
Hmm.
Like Jordy is a husband and father now, and that was a big
They
issue
did
with
a
him.
nice wrap up.
They have. Well, we got the series finale coming up this week, which I can't not wait for, because this last season, this last episode, all I gotta say to Star Trek is fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you for making me wait another week for the final episode.
Well,
Because that last episode ended, and I'm not gonna say, I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
no spoilers.
Yeah, so I'm, because there's but next week I'm going to be talking about the last two episodes.
Cool.
It just it blew my mind when during the last scene. It was amazing, and so and it's because they kept to the established history. They kept to the story that has been that has been written since the 60s, and they it was not it was made not for a profit but for the love of the show and the love of the fans. And I think that's where a lot of these studios are missing the point.
Mm.
They're not making the shows for themselves or for an agenda or for really money. They're making
Obviously,
it
a profit. They're not making them for a fucking profit.
definitely not you need to make something for fans,
Hmm.
because when you do that, that's when your profits come in. That's when
It all started with the Hulk saying fine, but I think it's gratuitous.
yes, it has become so in your face.
Because they became kind of like, I don't want to do this. It's expected. It's expected because it's canon and it's lore and we depend on it. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's. I mean, it just comes down, like I've said before, respect. The lack of
Yep.
respect that everyone has for each other nowadays, how divided we are, we're really seeing that in our entertainment. I mean,
Look at J.K. Rowling.
yeah,
Now, she didn't put anybody down. She stood up for women.
yeah.
She stood up for people like her. And right away, she's transphobic. No, 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 no. Nobody's transphobic. I ain't afraid of trans people. Guess what? I don't want to fight a trans woman. You know why? Because it's really a dude in disguise and he's going to punch me and hurt me. Like, I don't want to do that. Will I punch a woman in her face? Yep, sure will. But I want to make sure she's a woman. You don't get to just come in and say, this is what womanhood is. First of all, no, it's not. Stop
Oh,
frolicking. Stop
I
rolling. Because none of us get to do that. You know why? Because we're tired. Womanhood means you're tired, bitch. If you
I
ain't
heard
walking around with
something.
bags under your eyes and like hopped up on coffee or Adderall or something, you're not a woman anymore.
I heard something that really I thought was kind of profound just last night on this very topic.
What?
It's he's this guy was talking about men in women's sports, and he said feminism has have feminists had won, and it took men to do it. It took men this idea of men being in being uh, allowed to compete, and he was talking about Leah Thomas, that male
Oh,
swimmer, because what was her name? There was a story that Leah Thomas and another swimmer, I don't remember her name. Uh,
listen, it's not equal. Okay, it's just fucking not. What? Like I heard today about like Serena Williams. She's what number one in women's whatever, but comparatively, skill wise, strength wise,
oh yeah,
when compared to like all genders, if she was just put in the rankings as a just individual, no sex at all,
oh she'd be like
she
a
doesn't.
200.
She ranks into like college men's
Yeah,
rankings.
well she said
That's
that
saying
before.
something. That's really showing you. The
There was this
difference.
guy, the professional tennis player. He was like, he was not that high ranking. He said that
Mhm.
he said just that fact, and Sabrina said that if I went against him, I would lose.
Mhm.
I mean, it's
Yep.
not.
His
It's
physique, his physical makeup is completely different.
yeah. It's like the excuse me, the U.S. women's soccer team. They played against a high school boys team and lost like 6-0.
Mhm.
Why would I let my niece, who if she found a sport, who worked hard for 15 years, and then all of a sudden she gets to the nationals, she's in the top echelon of her sport, her life, and then a guy comes in and just snatches it away from her, a guy with long hair, and says I'm a woman, because that's what Leah Thomas did to Riley Gaines. Riley Gaines was the she was a college swimmer who finally made it to the nationals, and she placed like second or third with Leah Thomas. She tied with Leah Thomas, and guess who they she said guess who they gave the trophy to?
Oh,
Leah Thomas, the guy.
of course.
She even asked them. She said, "Why does he get the trophy?" He's like, "They need it for pictures." This is what she said in an interview. But it, we don't need that in our entertainment,
No, we
in,
really don't.
in our faces.
No. And the
I
thing
mean,
is, they. All right. So you're talking about like men and women and like all that kind of stuff. The thing about the trans thing, I don't care what you do in
I
the
don't either.
privacy of your own home. I don't want you to know, like, judge me for the things I do in the privacy of my own home. But if I'm going to make myself a public figure, I got to fly right because there are people looking at me and basing their life because that's what they do. They People are not individuals. They base their lives on what famous people or celebrities, do. These
Hmm.
influencers. They're like, oh well, she left him. My husband treated me like that. I'm gonna leave my husband. Bitch, there's a difference. She's a millionaire on her own. You're not. You got to have a different perspective. Your standards have to be a little bit more adjustable.
Yeah.
Like you got to learn to go with the flow. And that's why people are miserable because they're like, I want perfection. I want this. I want that. And then they think they're going to get it because they see some like, celebrity getting it. Now, my thing is, do you see that one getting it? Do you see the shitstorm that the other ones are going through? Like
Yeah.
if Jennifer Aniston can't keep a man, then I got no hope. Like I got no shot. But then you think about the man she was trying to keep. You got to keep somebody in your life that's there with you, for you, knows you, and still thinks that you're the fucking bee's knees. You're
See,
it.
yeah, and Star Trek, I don't think has ever been accused of being on the conservative side. You
No,
know,
I mean they've always been pretty much out there with all, like their theories and whatever. But they did take a turn where everything kind of went, all right, you know, we're gonna be feminists, we're gonna be this, we're gonna be that.
yeah.
I don't like feminists. I don't want to be a feminist. I don't want to be treated like a man. I don't want to go to war. I don't want to lift up heavy shit. They're like, oh, but you can't. Guess what? I can lift that box. But if there's a man standing next to me that, looks like he could lift it, I'm going to be like, honey, I will turn on every feminine wild I got. The nipples come like perky and the boobs go together. I will drop my voice, bat my eyes, toss my hair over my shoulder, be like,
Was I
touch his
speeding,
arm and be like,
officer?
oh my God, could you do me a favor? Please. And they'll do it. I will use every tool in my arsenal unapologetically. And so will every other female. Men do not know how to do that. But what my thing my that's what my original take was. If women want to honestly transition to men, I think they should. And I think you should let them. And once they do, you completely ignore their feelings. You completely ignore how they feel. You tell them to suck it the fuck up and act like a man.
Mhm.
The same way we treat the men, which we shouldn't treat them like that, but the same way we treat regular biological men, start treating the trans men like that. And watch how fast they don't want to do that. Don't let these bitches dress in like little sundresses with no titties frolicking through the fucking forest, acting like every woman does that. No, make that bitch get up at 5 a.m. Oh, to do that makeup, 4 a.m. to do the makeup, hair, and everything. Be out the door by 6:30 with the kids dressed and ready to go to school. Go to the job. Put up with getting your ass, like tweaked from your boss, and put up with extra, extra, extra work with less pay, and then I want you to go home, get goosed on the fucking subway or on the bus because that's always, and have everybody. Oh, I'm sorry that I didn't mean that. At least 5 times, and I want you to take your heavy ass on your heels, tired as shit, go home, make some dinner, take care of whoever's there, finish doing the laundry, clean up, get ready for your next day's work, realize it's time for bed, lay down, and have all the thoughts in your head keeping you like up like an insomniac. Until you're living inside a woman's head, you are not a woman. You don't know tired. You don't know beat. You don't know the lengths that we go to just not get our pussies grabbed on a daily basis. Because it's a thing. Believe me, if you let a man grab your ass, next he's grabbing you right between the legs. They do not hesitate. If they're that aggressive to begin with, they're not going to hesitate. If you want to be a girl, okay, you got to date emotionally unavailable man, and fall in love with him. I want you to fall in love with him. Get your heart broken like that, and then find out it's not just women. Men do it all too. That's what I want to know. I
Hmm.
want all these trans people that went and experienced dating the other side or the same side or whatever the fuck they're doing to come out and say, I thought when I was dating women that all women were crazy, but I really wanted to become one because I felt like one. So I started dating men, and men are just as bad.
It
Like, it's
looks.
bad on both sides of the aisle. I feel like men and women are like the two main like political parties. Both of them have so much in common, but they are so intent on competing instead of being compatible that it's ruining the world. Like these are like Jenga pieces that fight each other. I don't understand it. I want somebody to work with me, somebody who's complementary to me, somebody who is a support for me. I don't want to compete with somebody. I really don't. And that's what men and women do now. They compete rather than cooperate. They don't
Hmm.
look for a partner who's going to complement them and their strengths or weaknesses. They look for a partner who has a car, good like 6-figure friggin' salary, a house, somebody who's going to give them material shit. Material shit don't last. If they're not compatible to your soul and understand that you have feelings and that yes, you can get shitty sometimes, but they can get past it and love you regardless. If you can't find somebody like that, you're never going to be happy. Like, you're never going to be happy with a materialistic person because you are just another possession to them. And if you're a possession, you're upgradable.
See, in this,
There's there's no security there.
these are themes that we've seen in these stories that we grew
Hmm.
up on, we watched, we love.
Yep. But
But to,
these people are all thinking that it's better on the other side. They're going
I
to
mean,
do better as a female rather than a male. And it's not true. First of all, a
like,
lot of these men make ugly fucking women. Ugly.
it's like, have you
It's a
ever heard
lot
of
easier for a woman to transition to a man, I think.
Nora Vincent?
Is that the one that does like the History Channel things?
No, Nora Vincent was a journalist who, she was a woman who posed as a man and wrote the book Self Made Man, who in
Hmm.
2012, just from the, the experience of it, how horrible it was, she killed herself. She ended it. It just her experiences. She said her experience with a man. She didn't realize how vindictive women could be, how evil they could be. Almost, she said, and it's. But these are things we've always had
That's the
inside.
thing. Women compete with each other, and women compete with men. That I fully place on women because I don't believe that men are very competitive with women because they naturally assume they're going to win. So they don't even bother competing. If they do compete, they're like, oh, it's so cute. Like, oh, it's cute. She's competing with me. All right, I'm going to let her for a little while. And then we kick your ass and you get mad. So it's like, because we come to win. You guys came to play. We came to win. And that's with anybody. I'm extremely competitive. Extremely. But like when it comes to me and Frog, I can look at Frog and go, go ahead. Like, do you, boo? I'm right behind you. I got you. Because I chose not to be ahead of him and I chose not to be behind him. I want to be shoulder to shoulder with him. However, I defer to him when it comes to decisions because we're on his channel. Yeah, if
Mhm.
we were on my channel, I would probably still defer to him, but more in a cooperative rather than, okay, it's this is you're up here, I'm like an inch below you, so I have to look up to you a little bit
See,
and ask you.
like I was saying, these are themes we've seen and have experienced for decades in science
Yeah,
fiction. But they're done in their own way. It's not beating you in the head. It's done in really subtle, very well written stories. Like,
Leia was kick ass. She's one of the most, what, like, she's one of the strongest, most absolute, loyal, headstrong,
oh yeah,
stubborn
she's a leader.
female figures. Yes. And she cares. She would give her life over and over for other people, for for a concept that they're fighting for together, a collective.
Yeah,
Whereas Han would have died over and over for Han until he met her
yeah,
and allowed
exactly.
it. But it always rubbed him right. He always felt like he was fake, I think. And
Yeah,
then
and I
when
think
Luke vowed
yeah,
out, like in this thing, it would definitely affect Han because he'd be like, if Luke can't take it, why am I here?
yeah,
You know,
and I
and
think
then
that
he
might be the
rose.
reason that Han and Luke never reunited in the new
Mm-hmm.
movies for just that reason you said. Now that I think about
Yep.
it, but
Because I really do think Luke was the catalyst that ruined their marriage. I mean, Luke was
yeah,
in the movies, not in, like in the lore or the canon, but I mean now
in the
that
movies,
is
yeah,
canon, unless they redo it, which would be so great. But I wish they'd redo it before any more cast members die. Um, that'd be nice. They have enough footage. They could always go back and change that entire storyline. They could piece Luke George Lucas could have pieced that shit together just from the shit on the editing room floor.
it was
I mean,
not.
he would have made a better movie than they would.
I'm gonna I'm gonna disagree with you on something real quick. So
Bullshit.
it was not George Lucas who made that movie. It
No,
was
I
his.
know that. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Pay
okay.
attention, nerd.
I'm
I
listening. I'm
said
just didn't
George
understand. Listening and
Lucas.
understanding are two different things. Damn it.
All right, George Lucas could have made a better movie than they made just with the clippings from the
Yeah.
editing room floor. And that's what makes me mad. What he gave that up in good faith, and they pissed all over it.
Oh
The
yeah.
entire franchise. Did they make
Well,
a couple good things? Yes, absolutely. But that's because of directors and writers who are fans of
mhm.
the damn, franchise.
Well,
They're
broken clock
fans
is
of
right twice a
of
day.
the even just the first movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I have a spot in my heart for all of them, but I always have to readjust and be like, okay, this is not a Star Wars film. This is just a side story. So it gets
Yeah.
to be different. It gets to have a
Well,
different feeling to it.
they actually just announced this past week that they're doing more Star Wars movies with Rey.
Oh yeah, I know. I've
And
seen
I
that.
don't know if you saw the picture. She's pregnant in one of them.
Well, that would be nice, but I missed the whole point where they had sex. So I guess his metachlorians, when he evaporated, went right into her.
We're gonna see who the father is probably. I don't.
It
I
better not be Finn, because I think she should be with Poe.
Finn was it was such a
Finn
good
and Finn,
storyline that they just
they
wasted.
fucked that up. Yeah.
And I mean,
Well,
and
he was kind of a Lothario. First, he went for the like the Asian
Rose,
loner who just lost her sister, and then he
Rose.
went for the like. Yeah, I know, but listen,
Okay,
the
didn't
name
understand.
doesn't mean anything. It's the type that he's going for. Like he went for the Asian loner who lost her sister. Then he went for the black loner who didn't know who her parents were because she was taken away. Who's he gonna go for now? Like I mean, really? Like he
Oh,
went for Ray, who was the loner. He likes women who are by themselves.
he's
That
gonna
is
go
very
after
red
Poe.
flag to me. Very red flag because he has a pattern.
Yeah.
He has a type. Having a type is not always a good thing.
See, in season 2 of Mandalorian, we get a guy who's an ex stormtrooper. Um, God, I can't remember his name. Bill Burr played him, and
Yes, I know.
you saw
It
great character, really
made me
good.
so happy.
Um, you saw like he had a better story in 2 minutes of one
Mm-hmm.
episode than Finn had the entire movie set franchise
He
series.
really did. He really did.
Because when he picked it, when they're talking about Operation Sender, for anyone who doesn't know, that's when the Empire knew they were losing, so they just decided to destroy any planet they could to keep the Republic from getting them. And he was there for Operation Center. He lost his entire squad, and this officer sitting in front of him just cheering, like raising glasses to it, saying it was so good, and he just turned blank look on his face, lifts up his gun, boom, right in the chest. So good. And Mando just looks at him like, "What did you just do?" It was
And
such
he just
a
shrugged it off a little bit, like, nah.
yeah. And then
He was very Bill Burr about it.
yeah well
That's what I love.
he says the perfect thing when they're flying off on Slave One afterwards. Mando looks at him. He's like, "Yeah, I need to sleep. Sometimes you need to sleep at night." It was just it was such a good like. It's what Finn should have been in 2 minutes compared to what we got in 3 movies. But nowadays we're just getting these woke agendas just beaten over the head with us. I mean,
Yeah, I'm tired of the woke agenda. It's really, I can't. I can't. We don't live like this.
no.
And the majority of the world does not think like this. So why are, like I said, why are they throwing away hundreds of millions, in fact, billions of dollars on this bullshit that nobody's buying anymore? And they know nobody's buying because even the media is saying nobody wants to see this. Like your ratings are telling you. Thank you. Nobody wants to see this.
Well,
Why
just like
continue?
look at
Because they're intentionally tanking everything. And you know what? I discussed this with my physical therapist. You know something that I realized they're doing? She was like, I hate all these reboots. Why are they doing reboots? I said, you honestly want to know? I was like, because my theory is they're doing the reboots. One, because none of these writers are capable of original thought because they grew up on the iPad with things being repeated. I said, and two, they can't do anything like original because everything is outlawed now. So they have to take these movies that
mhm.
were successes and redo them like in the current like verbiage
Environment. Yeah.
and hope that well they took off once before, they have a fan base, maybe that's how we'll get across, maybe that's how we'll adopt it and make it ours and everybody will love it. And they're not realizing when you take something beloved and you bastardize it and you shit on it, we are not only not going to watch it, we're going to come for you
Hmm.
because you just ruined how many childhood memories, how many memories that you had with somebody who's no longer there. That's going to make somebody bitter as hell. And we're going to get to the
Yeah.
point where we're just going to not going to do it anymore. We're not going to take
Some of the best memories I have as a kid with my dad
it. Mm-hmm.
is him taking me to go see episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he and I, we didn't do much stuff together. One, he was never home. He was always, well, not never. He was gone a lot for work. He traveled for his job. He was a pilot, airline
Mm-hmm.
pilot. So those
Exciting.
those few moments that we could have, it was something we could both enjoy. And like right now, every Wednesday night, he and my niece will sit down and watch The Mandalorian. And these are
Oh,
memories that I hope she has 20, 30 years from now when he's gone, that she can look and say, this is what me and my papa did.
mm-hmm.
Like I
Absolutely.
look at 20 years ago, this is what me and my dad did.
Yep.
And it was because of stars. He took me to see Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, that Indiana Jones movie, which I kind of enjoyed. Not everyone's cup of tea. Um, that's one thing he could do. I mean, I didn't hunt as a kid. I didn't fish very much. He's very outdoorsy. But this is stuff that he and I could do together.
Yeah.
Just me and him. My not my
Mm-hmm.
with my brother, not with my mom. It was, and these are
Same for
memories.
me and my dad. Yep.
Yeah, those are memories that I will cherish. That I
Because
like. I
I
like I
might
said,
be the only child and a girl, but this went beyond gender. Once
yeah,
they realized, oh my God, she likes this too, that was it. It was like, okay, we are like riding this bitch into the sunset. And that's
yeah,
what we did. Like everything in my life was Star Wars. I had the sheets, I had the curtains, I had the pillows, I had the dolls, I had the tower, I had the ice of Hoth, I had like everything. And it was great because I'd be in my room just playing by myself with it. Hi honey. And that's Benny. Be nice to Benny. Um and what you call it? I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. Squirrel.
you're fine.
Um no, it was everywhere in my life, and I loved it. And I would play by myself, and I am ready to go home, dude. Um, I would play like all these scenarios, and my dad would pass by, and he'd be like, "What are you doing?" Oh, I'm saving Luke, or I'm saving Han, or like Leia's learning how to like tame the tauntaun so that she doesn't get thrown or whatever. And I spent a lot of time in Hoth. I don't know why. And he would come in and he'd be like, "All right, so who am I?" And he'd be like, "All right, well, let's just," and he would make it all technical, and I would just love it because it was just like it was the one thing that he would come in and just jump in head first and be, all right, we're doing it, and he always was excited. He was excited every time a new movie came out, and he was excited to take me there. It's not
Yeah,
like he wanted to go and see it by himself. He wanted to leave my mother home, which sometimes we did, but it was like let because she didn't get it and she talks, and it's like
yeah.
we don't.
My mom's the same way. She does
Yeah.
like this. She's like, this is my cup of tea. Like, I don't like this stuff.
Yeah, no, me and my father, like me and daddy, we would go to the movie and be, oh, like we'd have all the same reaction, and you'd hear like the nonverbals, like, and it was just like, and it was great, and I could just enjoy it. We'd talk about it the whole way home. We talk about it that whole night, the whole next day. If he ever saw this bullshit, I'm almost glad that he's gone, so this shit doesn't break his heart
Hmm.
because this was how we bonded. A lot of the time. I mean, not the only way, but this was a big part of it. And the fact when that Christmas came around and he had gotten me every single Star Wars action figure there was like in existence, I knew he gets me. And he knew, okay, I know how to make her happy. It's
Yeah,
very rare when a man knows how to make a woman, even their daughters, happy.
yeah,
So to be like, oh my God, she likes the same stuff I do. Let's see if she likes trains. Wound up, I like trains. Let's see if she likes, going to old car shows. I love going to old car shows. Let's
hmm,
see if she likes boat shows. Absolutely. Like,
yeah,
so he found out that I was like the son he always wanted and the daughter he always wanted. And it was like the best of both worlds for him because he was like, I can, play around with her and she's still like all into her, you know, pink, like flowers and like pink pillows and hamsters and like a little kitten. And I'm still very girly when it comes to like the animal stuff. but I could turn around and play basketball with him. I could turn around and go fishing, go to all these different things. There was always this, I don't know, like compatibility between us. And that's what led to this unconditionally accepting and loving relationship because he got me. And he didn't say, oh, you can't like that because you're a girl. But he did tell me, listen, you're a girl. I expect you to do certain things. I expect you to, yes, be more educated because you need to educate yourself because you're smart. You're going to have kids. You're going to have to pass that on. I don't want you to have kids and be stupid and they think you're stupid. No, let your kids think you're a genius. He always said that. He, that's what he wanted. He was like,
Hmm.
let them know. Let them know. No, you don't know more than I know. He was like, you know more than I know. He always used to tell me that. You're smarter than me, but I'm more experienced than you. I know more about life than you. And I don't like, what I see in the world, but I think you're good for the world. The world is going to appreciate you. He always thought that. He thought I had something that I could offer that people would actually appreciate. And it just took me 30 years to get there.
Hmm.
But he always said, go out, do whatever you want. Don't let other people dictate to you what your opinions and what your actions should be. But remember, you are a woman. You have certain obligations to the world. Because like if you don't ever want to have kids, okay, but don't do it because you say, "Oh, I want a job" or whatever. If you think you're going to be a bad mother, then you say it. Because like, but if you think you're going to be a good mother, if you think you could love your kids, if you think you could be patient, then that's what you do because that's what women are meant to do. And my mother was all, "Meh, meh, meh, meh," and I said, no, like I understand. Only women can have babies. That's pretty much why I'm here.
Gasp! Did you just say that? Oh my goodness! Oh my
What?
goodness!
But
I'm
it's true.
kidding. It's
Like that's
true.
what
One
I
hundred
was
percent.
born to do.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever came along after that, that's an outside, affectation. That's something like that's coming in from outside where my natural path is to say something and like to change me. My natural path, I am born a certain way with certain abilities that I should take advantage of. Like if you can sing, you should sing. If you can have babies, you should have babies within reason. You know, you have to put your will into it too and what you want.
Yeah.
But he always said if you're going to have babies, be dedicated to those babies. He's like, I don't want you trying to like grow up and do the split thing where you're trying to be a mother and trying to be somebody's, employee. He was like, you're supposed to be in charge of those kids. How are you going to be in charge of those kids if somebody else is in charge of you and calling on your time and your, energy? And he was very advanced for his time,
Squaw Bob
and he
says.
never he never spoke to me like a little kid
Mm.
ever
Squaw Bob
because I was
says the
smarter.
key to women is shoes.
What did he say?
He
The key
says
woman, the key to women is shoes. I mean, right now I don't have any shoes, so that would work for me.
the one thing missing in both Star Trek and Star Wars universes is attention to footwear. What are you, Squaw Bob?
We're in a foot fetish place. On that note, maybe we should like get to the end of your thing and wrap that up.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, when you can have, what's the word I'm looking for? You can have storylines that have morals, that have uh, lessons in them,
Yeah, you can have life lesson storylines. That's fine.
but you don't
Storylines with a
have,
purpose.
but you don't have propaganda with a little bit of story in it,
Yeah.
which is really what we're seeing a lot nowadays.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But they act like we never had like gay stuff in the movies. The movie In and Out, one of the funniest movies I've ever known. All about a guy being straight and then somebody saying he was gay, and then everybody believing he was gay and him saying, "Ah, I'm not gay," and then one day realize, "Oh shit, I'm gay." Like That's a great fucking storyline, and it was hilarious. Victoria. You want to talk about men dressing like women, men dressing like women, women dressing like men, and all that bullshit. Great
Mhm.
freaking movie for that. Men who feel, kind of ambiguous about their gender. Rocky Horror Picture Show. Like
Oh,
we've
exactly.
been there. We've
Yeah,
done all of them, and
but they
everybody
were
went,
done in
"Oh
a
yeah,
way.
that's cool," and that was
They were
it.
done in a way that was entertaining.
Yes, and they weren't forced down your throat. You were like, "Okay, this guy likes to dress like a chick. All right," like and you just swallowed it and you just moved on. Like, all right, it's funny, and you were like, he rocks it. Like he makes it look good, and it's just like, all right, go you. Like you got. We used to think, oh my god, you have such big balls for doing that, because it took courage to do that when you were, a straight male or whatever.
Hmm.
Now, I mean, we don't know if Tim Curry was completely straight. He probably wasn't. I
Hmm.
mean, he's British. He probably wasn't. But they keep that shit low key. I've been bi my whole life, but until my like what 30s, that shit was very low key. I kept that very shh. Like, don't, like I always joke because I was afraid they would, kill me with sticks. Yeah, because they would. Maybe not like in my late 20s, but my early 20s, definitely. I would have been ostracized from everything.
It's like I saw a interview with Nathan Lane, which
Yeah.
I love Nathan Lane. He's one of my
Come
another great
on. La
actor.
Caja Fall. He did Birdcage. That was amazing.
Birdcage is a funny movie. Again,
Robin Williams does way
him and
better
Robin
than
Williams were
anyone
great
else
together,
I know.
and they were doing an interview with Oprah for the Birdcage. And this,
Hmm.
like, remember, this was early '90s.
Yeah.
Oprah asked Nathan Lane, why do you always get these characters cast as these characters? Talking gay, flamboyant
Because it don't
characters.
bother him.
Well, and Robin came to his defense and kind of went off on one of his Robin Williams rants.
Hmm.
And this is before he had come out. And he said, I don't think Oprah meant it like she was trying to out me, but he was so grateful when Robin Williams kind of deflected a little bit. Because,
Yeah.
but again, that another one with the great
Well,
comedy.
he's my generation. He knows that once they know, there's no putting the shit back in the horse. That changes how you look to people
Mhm.
forever. I mean, oh, another fucking security alert. They had a guy pull a gun the other night. I found out he pulled a gun
Wow.
on the third floor,
Mm.
and the cops were on him, like like on.
Good.
He just the witness told me that he had just gotten it out, and they were just boom. But anyway, so yeah, so all of this,
But he's one that has never really been in
what do you mean?
people's face about it. He's known
No,
my private
he
life.
just played his part.
Yeah.
That was it.
And
He played
gay,
his part.
straight, bisexual, everybody I don't know anyone who hates Nathan Lane. He's
No, he's
and
hilarious.
he and like the last thing I
He's so
saw him
sweet.
in, last thing I saw him in was the Addams Family on Broadway. He played Gomez.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, and BB Newirth, Frasier's wife from Cheers
Yeah.
and Frasier,
Hmm.
she played Morticia, and they were able to play the
I would love
loving.
to have her affectations. Oh my god.
They were able to just the love they were able to act and really show between the two characters was amazing. But I don't think like there
She's
were
very
episodes.
versatile, and so is he.
There was an episode of Next Generation where they're working with this single gender species, and one of them wants to know what it's like to be a woman. So she falls in love with Commander Riker, and they make love.
Hmm.
And it turns out like it was really commentary on the how the the gay and gay community was looked at back then, because she
Mhm.
was in her culture, she was seen as sick, as depraved.
Oh, of course. I'm sorry, but in our culture, so are we.
Yeah, but and then you have other side.
It's still considered like a deviation.
Yeah, in in the Orville, which was Seth MacFarlane, from Family Guy, his show, which was it started out as a parody of Star Trek, but really came to its into its own.
Mm.
They have a single race species that see women as disabled. They see that if you have a female baby,
Well, I mean, this one sees men as retarded, so I mean,
yeah.
it's not really that hard to imagine.
But the storyline is, if in their culture, if they have a baby, a female baby, they will surgically alter it at birth to a male, and the child finds out later it was born a female. So it goes through like the the social ramifications of that, and she decides, I want to transition back to female. It was a really good, really well done commentary on transgenderism today. As parents or people, society deciding, because um, let me slow down. In the
Hmm.
story, they go to court on this alien court to fight the transition. They want to keep the baby as a female, but they lose. So this is a really good commentary on state forced transition surgeries. And but it was done in such a way. It was entertaining, it was thoughtful, it was informative, and it did not beat you over the head.
It's very true.
And that's why I think, and it's coming from Seth MacFarlane from the Family Guy, dude. It's like, holy shit, dude, you can actually write and act.
Oh yeah, he can. He has so many talents. Oh my god.
Have you ever heard him
Um,
sing?
I've heard him sing True Colors as Kermit the Frog. Holy shit,
Yes.
it's hilarious.
To Cindy Lauper's face.
Yes, and she was just like, "Oh my god."
No, he was doing it as Peter Griffin. He did
But he
the
also did it as Kermit.
no, he did the Taken monologue. I don't
I
have
will
much,
find
but
you. I will kill you.
he
Yes,
did
I
it.
know.
He did it
Hmm.
like Tom Cruise and all that.
I know.
His
It was on the Graham Norton show. I watched the
I
whole thing
love
over and
those.
over and over.
Yeah, I love.
But
I because
I don't know
Graham
why
has
I thought of that because I saw Cool Frog. And he
Graham
said, a
has
good
no shame,
shoe.
and just he's like, do it, do it.
I know.
Graham's like, I don't care. Dance,
I know.
monkey,
Graham's like,
dance.
go ahead. Like, I just want it. Cool Frog said, a good shoe is as important as a good bed. Well, seeing as nobody's put me in either one of them anytime lately, so I wouldn't know.
Did you see what Squaw
Well,
Bob
Bub,
said?
I don't think we should burn Shelley as a witch. It's not my place. How'd you go from we to you? So you just like Freudian slip. It's just you that wants to burn me as a witch. And you know what I feel like eating? Roasted squab. Watch yourself.
I got some hamburgers waiting for me. Of course, I had hamburgers last night too. But squirrel, sorry.
You know who likes hamburgers like you? Wimpy
What?
from Popeye.
I will gladly
I'll
pay
pay
you
you for a
Tuesday.
cheeseburger tomorrow if you give it to me today. Like,
But
you're wimpy.
yeah.
Wimpy, wimpy, wimpy.
But
Wimpy nerd. That's what we can call your other alter ego. Wimpy
no,
nerd.
no, it's not. No, it's
Yes,
not.
yes, it is.
No,
No,
it's
no,
not.
no. I'm a witch, and I dub thee Wimpy nerd. Wimpy nerd. Hmm. That's you.
Have they given you medicine tonight, and this is why you're actually like
No,
that?
not yet. That's
Not,
after
well,
9.
this is normal. You damn.
This is normal me. Yeah. This is me on. Let's see. What am I drinking? Oh, this is hard shit. Zero sugar ginger ale,
Ew.
and I had my salad
Hmm.
with Newman's Italian dressing.
Ooh, that sounds
and
tasty.
it actually was really good. I'm gonna have to start buying Newman's dressing because it was really good. I had their blue cheese yesterday, which was delicious, and I had their Caesar, which is also out of this fucking world. But yeah, I'm very like bougie when it comes to dressing. I don't like
Mhm.
super greasy ones. The more expensive ones tend to have a lot more oil in them. I don't like them. They make me sick. I like something that's it's gonna be a little more acidic.
Yeah, I like zesty Italian.
Yeah,
I kind of like,
I like savory.
yeah, I like Caesar dressing.
Mm.
Um, my favorite like dipping sauce is honey mustard. I love a good honey mustard. Not too heavy on the honey though.
Now I
But
don't like putting honey on my food.
now
Oh,
this is
honey
honey.
belongs either in tea, on like maybe like a vanilla kind of scone, or baklava. That's it.
But this is I'm not talking about straight honey. I'm honey mustard, not straight honey.
Not straight honey. What do you like?
Yeah.
Gay honey? You like that honey that goes, oh, hello. Go ahead, eat me. Oh,
But
you're so fabulous. Take it deep, take it deep, take it deep. What happened? It was Shelly who turned me into a squab. I just know it. I turned you into a bird. I turned you into a dirty bird, motherfucker. If I was going to turn you into a dirty bird, I guess you said it's a baby pigeon,
just
and
stay
there's
away
no
from the water,
dirtier
Shelly.
bird than a friggin' pigeon.
Just stay away from water.
Stay away from water. Why? Is Tommy around?
No, you'll melt.
Aw, because I'm so sweet.
No, the Wicked Witch melts.
No, so does sugar, bitch. So
But
you won't know which one it is. And since I'm not green, guess what? It's because I'm so sweet. I will just melt
salt
your little
melts too,
heart.
is all I'm
I
saying.
will melt your heart, nerd. I will.
Squab Bop has a question for you, Shelly.
What's my question? What's it up?
What do you want as your first meal back home?
Well, my son kind of already decided it. He said we went to the store and I got you a nice big piece of salmon and a steak.
Ooh.
And he was like, I'm gonna be with you when you make both. So he's like, I ain't cooking that shit, but that's when you get home, that's what you can eat. I was like, all right, thanks. But I had him. I told him take down 5 cans of tuna fish because
Mm.
I have so much tuna fish in my house. Yeah, I said take down 5 cans of tuna fish, open them up, drain them, and just let your sister make me a big container of tuna so that we have it cold in the fridge. Because I don't like warm tuna. I like cold tuna.
Yeah, same here.
And I was like, let her do it. He was like, but nothing's going to be in it. It's just going to be tuna. I said, yeah, no, I don't want her to put the mayo. I don't want her to put the onion or the celery salt, nothing. I don't want her
Mm.
to, I'll do that. But I want the tuna to be cold. So,
Yeah.
like, take it, put it in the container, get rid of all that fucking water, and it'll be cold when I get home. And then I
Yeah,
can make tuna fish sandwiches.
yeah, I like that. With like get a good butter cracker and like
Yeah.
just
Like
scoop
the
it. That's good.
townhouse,
Yes,
or a
yes.
club cracker. Oh, they're the best. But,
Tadpole eats chicken and pork with honey on it, and he will not eat it. Honey is a staple around here.
see, I have honey because my son does the same thing. He puts honey on like everything because he swears it helps when he gets a sore throat. It helps him like
It
when
does.
he gets allergies. Because I
Hmm.
get my honey now, I get it local, so it has all the
Ooh,
local
wow.
pollen in it, and I've been doing this for a couple years now, and he gets less and less allergies because he has the pollen already. It's become a part of his system, so he's no longer allergic to it. His like allergy and one, so now it's just a part of him. So he has a lot less problems with the nasal congestion and the drippage because he eats the local honey.
I might need to try that.
It's a really good way to go about it. And I mean, you don't get any real effects right away. Like, there are no side effects to eating the honey. except good ones. Squab Up said salmon is good, tuna fish is good. I love fish. I will eat any
Yeah,
fish they give me except that damn tilapia. I
yeah.
just don't like it.
Fish is a staple around here. Living on the bay.
Well, yeah, I mean, I love shellfish. I love
You know,
fillet of fish, any kind of fish. Doesn't matter if it's cod, catfish, blue, tuna, fluke. I
mhm.
don't care. Trout,
I
bass.
I love a good raw oyster.
I don't like oysters. I like
I do.
raw clams.
All I need is you give me a dozen oysters, some hot sauce, and some saltine crackers. I
Yeah,
will
no, I'm
just.
horny enough. I don't need oysters. Thank you.
I haven't had a good
Uh-uh.
oyster in a long time. Good thing of
Yeah, I
oysters in
haven't
a
had a
long
good horny in a long time. But
time.
no, like it I have to watch my soul, but
Yeah.
it's just I don't know.
Well, we've been
It
on
is what
for
it is.
yeah,
Like
we've been on
I
for
love it, but I really got to watch the
yeah,
soul.
we've been
And then
talking
it's
for
really
almost
good.
3 hours, Shelly. Damn.
Oh, that's nothing.
Yeah, not compared to like our 8 or what is it, 9, 10 hour stream the first time.
I know. He said Neil Young married a fish. What?
I don't get it either.
Does she look like a fish? Is her name Guppy? I mean, what the fuck? But anyway, so oh wait, Carol Burnett, 90 Years of Left. When is that on? Because I want to see that. When she played Miss Hannigan in the Annie movie, I was
Yes.
like, dear God, nobody ever played that better. Ever. Not
And
even Kathy
remember
Bates when she played it.
remember who played Rooster in that version?
Oh, yeah, Tim Curry.
Another great Tim Curry moment.
Tim Curry. And that movie was done, his mansion was Monmouth College. And that made me want to go to that college.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
Monmouth was a teaching college. I wanted to be a teacher. It all worked out. And I applied and I got accepted. And then I went to see it. And I was like, yeah, I don't like the campus. I was like, I don't like. It was a different vibe for me. Like I went to every single college that accepted me, and I spent like a day at each. And if it didn't have a feel where I felt like I would fit in, I was like, nope, not this one, because it wasn't about the academics for me. It was about I'm not going to be home. I need to be comfortable. I need
Hmm.
like a place where I belong. And
Yeah.
Trenton State College just had that feel. And it was weird because Trenton State College is mostly um, like the majority of it, at least the part that I went through, was all African American or
Hmm.
minority. And I had to go through with the minority program. I went through EOF because I wasn't up to snuff with their white section. So I had to be with the minorities because they didn't like my income or whatever. Because the white people that were there were all freaking, they were all rich. They all had money.
Yeah.
Everyone that I knew. And the only ones that were white in EOF were the ones who were financially strapped. So it was like, okay, that was weird. But I got accepted to Columbia. I got accepted
Mm.
to Princeton. I got accepted to Yale. And I wound up going on the waiting list for Trenton State
Mm.
because of
What?
EOF. Yes, because they wanted only like their white section. That quota was full of the regular students. So they had to push me into EOF. And in order to be in EOF, I had to be put on a waiting list. And then I had to go to a summer program for 6 weeks to do extra, like everybody's doing remedial courses. And then they had two courses that were not remedial, they were actual college credits. And it was English 1, composition, English 101,
Hmm.
and speech.
Yeah.
So we had to take both of those, and I got both of those. Most of the people that I knew were in the remedial things because they didn't do well on their SATs or whatever. So they needed to like reinforce their ability, and they went to remedial classes to get better at the English and the math and whatever. And I think we had science. I'm not entirely sure, but I went and I did the two classes. I got my 6 credits. I did half that whole summer with pneumonia,
Mm.
and I still we finished the thing and we had the award ceremony, and I got, you know, outstanding excellence and outstanding overall excellence. So I got the two top awards, and everybody there, like, they were remedial. They were none of us felt ashamed. I was more embarrassed that I got those awards. They were thrilled for me, because I helped them a lot. I helped people write their speeches. I helped them with their remedial classes because that's what I do, even then.
Mm-hmm.
And but the thing was, like, even my mother said, she said, you scored all your life in the top 1% of the country in those damn state tests. Yeah. You always were number one in your class. Yep. You're valedictorian. Yep. How did you get put on a waiting list? Because they had enough white people, and those
That's
white people
all it
had
is
money,
nowadays.
and I didn't. That's what it came down to. It wasn't about the academics. It was about they had a certain number of white people with money and a certain number of white people without money, and they were not going to have any more white people without money if they
Exactly.
could do away with it. So they put me on the EOF program, which usually you went in, and the summer is hard because there's so many rules. You've never been away from home. The workload is really like a lot, and you're not allowed to do anything. So it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
And I waited it out,
Mm-hmm.
and I went through that summer, and I loved it. But I don't think I was ready for college at that point. I
I
think I
was the
should have
same way.
taken a gap year. I really
I was
do,
the same way
because I
because
wasn't mature enough.
I graduated in '06 and went straight out to, we have a local, it was a community college back then. It's a state college now.
Mm,
But I went straight out there, went straight into music thinking, oh, it's just going to be like high school band. It wasn't. But then my first semester out there, my grandmother, who'd worked out the college for 30 years, for like
mm-hmm,
30, 40 years, she
mm-hmm.
died. And I was extremely close to her. Shelly, the last place I wanted to be was anywhere that reminded me of her.
Yep.
So I stopped going to a lot of my classes and just my GPA fell to maybe almost like a 2 point, or like a 1.5, 1.4.
Yeah, I think mine fell to like 2.3.
And because I lost both grandmothers within that first year out of high school.
I got
And
pregnant.
the music program was horrible. Um, and like 10 years later, I go out for my as a theater major, and I was talking to our division chair, and she said, "Yeah, oh, you were back." I told her about my first time out at the college. She's like, "Oh, you were out there?" Yeah, we had a lot of issues with her talking about our professor.
Uh,
Um, but then I went off and worked for about 5 or 6 years. Came back when I was able to get financial aid, and really started like really nose to the grindstone. There, I was in the we had a reading and writing lab and a math lab, and I was in every other day. I was in one of them for like 5 or 6 hours, getting the work done. And I have I've diagnosed mental disability in math. It's hard for me. And Shelly, for the first time in my life, I was making A's and B's on math tests because I would go and I'd work until my brain started turning to mush.
so
I'd go be like, when I started
you
like,
working now?
pretty much the same, on the
Oh,
same
okay.
level. Yeah. So
Hmm.
when I would be like 2 + 2 = 5, oh shit. It was time to quit. I took every advantage I had. Like they had a testing center where you could go into a little cubicle by yourself, and you had unlimited test time to take your tests. Shelly, I was making like I made one semester like a 96 in my math class. It's like, holy hell, how did I do that? Where is this coming from? It's because I got help. I really was working my ass off.
Yes,
So
it means a lot.
yeah, and because I was ready for it at the time compared to my first time out there, I wasn't ready for it. I mean, I started in August and my grandmother died in October.
Oh, honey.
So it was and then that next September my other grandmother died. Plus between them we lost her dog. Real shitty year. But so the thing with that, like my point is that anyone can do. If I can fucking do it, anyone can do it. Just take advantage of every opportunity, every bit of help. These colleges have ways to get money for your classes. They have places you can go study to get the help. Take advantage of it. Learn any way you can.
Yep.
So, on that
I agree.
high note, I think we've been at
Yeah, I
this for
think
about
we can end. Except
Yeah.
Bob said that Neil Young was married to a fish, Daryl Hannah, the mermaid from the Tom
Yeah.
Hanks movie.
Yes.
Flash. Why she talks after she eats the lobster, and she's like,
And she talks like a dolphin and like
Oh my
breaks
God.
every bit of glass in the restaurant.
hilarious. It
Yeah.
was hilarious. I love that movie.
I love those scenes were actually filmed underwater because they had a bathysphere off camera. That what was his name? Richie Cunningham is the character he played. Ron Howard directed the movie. He'd be under there, Tom Hanks said he almost drowned during that movie. He'd come under the bathysphere and they'd give him directions, go back out into the water. So just think of that, filming a movie like maybe a minute at a time like that.
Mm-hmm. They wouldn't
But
do that now. Anyway,
thank you
they don't have
everyone.
the patience for it.
Oh no. I mean, this is a guy that filmed Apollo 13 in a jet. You know how a jet, if you go up a certain angle and go down a certain angle, you get zero gravity for a few moments.
Mhm.
That's how they filmed Apollo 13. They were really weightless in that movie.
Yeah, I know. That's how they got them to float.
But thank you, Shelley, for being on here with me.
I know. I gave you like a half good show, half ruined show, but it's all me. You got the best and worst of me.
Hey,
you did very well, nerd. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
You tried to keep me on topic, and good effort.
Like herding cats. But I'm gonna try to make this like a weekly thing. I was trying to think of a name. I'm like, why not something simple like Nerdcast?
There you go.
People are like, oh, you're gonna be copying Flash and everything. Like, no, it's like
it's better than Nerd Pool because that's just too close to home.
Thank you, Shelley. Thank you.
You're welcome. Very cool.
But
pain
in the ass.
That's me.
That should be your intro. Here comes the pain in the ass. That's Shelley.
My Peter. Hello. Welcome to me. I am a constant source of fucking delight.
But thank you for everyone who came in and watched. And thank you to the chat.
Anybody out there, share this, please. Sub to Nerd. He needs to sub.
Sub to Shelley.
Sub to me. What is wrong with you?
Cool Frog.
Sub to Cool Frog, because where I go, hence goes my twin. So,
yes.
We're attached at the subs. So let's go.
We got a great group that we stream, that we jump on each other's stream and chat and have fun.
And you're gonna be like, man, but Darth chilled for you. So I'm gonna chill for my boy Darth.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Hideous.
Yeah, go to Darth Hideous.
Supply something different.
We all had
together. We're so much fun.
Great. We have a variety of different views, different topics. And Cool Frog's our hard news guy.
He's also jokey.
Yeah.
Come on, I get him to sing all the time. It's beautiful.
And what does he say? What does he like?
I like men.
Yeah. And on that note, I'll see. Love you, Shelley. Love you, chat. Thanks a lot.
Bye, chat.
Incoming transmission.
Wrong one.